live or are we going?
Not yet.
Okay, you're going to give me a heads up what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's always great to know that we're live. After we're live, what's up? We're back in the house. We were just planning on doing some events, which we'll talk about. We'll get into that. Welcome to the sexiest financial podcast in the world. This is the Soscast. This is where finance meets romance. We've got one goal out here, to help you men get better with your money and get better with women. That's it. I want to help you improve your status, get you paid, laid, and do it your way. So all I do is bring the best of the best of the best of the best onto the show, onto here at Valuetainment to serve your guys' game out there. I want to serve you guys' game. So let's get into the show today, and let's meet our guests. Usually we go ladies first, but we got one other dude on the panel today. So let's just do men first around here. I'm not trying to get all chauvinistic or anything like that.
We'll make it up to the girls, don't worry.
We'll let them, of course we will, if you don't steal the spotlight. So Maksud Agadjani.
That's right.
Did I say that right?
Yep.
One of the biggest diamond dealers, jewelers in all of the Diamond District in New York City.
Thanks.
Correct? Entrepreneur, your YouTube page is on fire. You are not shy.
No.
So I'm expecting a lot of that today. You definitely get fiery in what you do. Your company's called Tracks NY.
See, yeah.
Tracks NYC. Don't forget the C in City. You were featured in the movie Uncut Gems with
Yeah,
Adam
I was in
Sandler.
that,
You had an appearance in there.
Sure.
Oh, shout out. You're dealing with rappers, Rick Ross, Tekashi, Scott Disick, my old buddy. I've seen you. So anyway, you got a lot going on.
Yeah,
Welcome
I'm
to the
doing
show,
all right.
bro.
I'm doing all right.
I'm doing all right.
I feel good.
Okay. Coming down the line here, my friend Melitsa Waage, entrepreneur. She runs Epic Talks, the premier networking event, business networking event in all of Miami. We just did an event. What was that? A week ago? 2 weeks ago? Marcus Lemonis from CNBC spoke. She crushed it. Melitsa, she brought me a copy of her magazine. I mean, what are we talking about here? Can we get a little boom boom here?
Yeah,
All right.
thank you.
So Melitsa's doing her thing down in Miami. Welcome back, Chantelle, Gordon, Mama Milf, Sexpert. Like, just when you think things are going PG-13, motherfucker.
Nope.
She's going to crank it up a notch. So, you know, hide your wife, hide your kids if this is something that is inappropriate.
Yes, please.
The Sexpert will bring it out of you. And new guest on the show, Chantelle Simone. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
So I've watched a bunch of your videos. What's the name of your channel? Is it just your name?
Chantelle Simone, yeah.
Chantelle Simone. You are not shy either. You put it out there. You call out feminism, right?
Yeah, basically.
Would you call yourself a relationship expert?
I'm not an expert at all.
Okay.
But
You're a regular lady.
regular, calling
doing
on
your
feminism.
thing. Okay. But you've got a lot to say with that. All right. Well, if you guys are out, it's Christmas is in 2 days. Happy Hanukkah to my Jewish brethren and sistren out there, and Kwanzaa. I don't know if anyone's doing Kwanzaa these days. I don't even know if that's a real holiday. I just said it. I don't even know. Right. However, this is a Christmas episode. This is the last episode we're doing before Christmas. So here's what I want to do today. We're going to talk about gifting and spending money on women and what women expect, what men should be doing out there in the sexual marketplace. So I have a panel of women with different opinions. Different opinions are a great thing. And we got a jeweler in the house.
Right.
That's going to kind of let us in on the inside of what's going on behind the scenes
I sure will.
in the jewelry game. Can I
seen
just
a
give a
lot.
quick shout out, since speaking of jewelers, to our sponsor today. We coordinated this perfectly with you.
Sure.
Our sponsor today, Goldco. All right, so if you know anything about me and my brand, I'm all about saving that money. And anything you do, make sure that you're being smart with your money and saving that money. So here's a strategy for you guys at home to consider. We're all familiar with wealth accumulation, and part of the component of that is diversification, where you put your money, cash, investments, stocks, bonds. Right. Some of you guys, right, in today's climate might want to consider Goldco and what they do, because they are the experts on gold and silver. So here's the deal. With inflation that's happening right now, money printing that's going on out there, more and more people are playing defense with their money and using Goldco as a way to get gold and silver. Here's what you do regarding diversification. You don't take all, you take some, a portion of your money, okay? Not all of it, and you put into a gold or silver IRA with Goldco. This helps shields your money from the economic woes that we're seeing today. So shout out to Goldco. We vetted them, we partnered with them. Pat talks about them, I talk about them. The reason we chose them is because they're the best at what they do. So Here's the call to action. You can get 10 grand today, up to 10 grand of free silver, 10 grand if you qualify. If there's something you're thinking about, don't wait any longer. Here's the deal. Pick up the phone, call Goldco today, 855-966-0109. Gold and silver, Goldco, simple. Today, 855-966-0109. Thank you, Goldco. With that being said, let's get in today's episode, okay? So it's the holiday season, all right, boys and girls, and we all know what the holiday season comes with. Gifting, right? So if you're familiar with the 5 love languages, one of the 5 love languages is gifting, right? So it's no secret that women like nice things, do they not? So couple that with the fact, well, today inflation's crazy, interest rates are out of control, consumer price index, so that's all kind of going up. But you know what's not going down? Women's expectations when it comes to gifts. So let me start with you, Max. You're a jeweler.
Yeah.
How should men navigate the current climate with the economy going on if
Right.
they're looking for a gift for their girl?
Well, listen, depends on the girl and the individual situation of the guy. You know, if they have a real loving relationship, it shouldn't really be difficult to navigate. You might get a pair of gloves and she'll be happy and you'll live happily ever after. In another case, if you have a baby mama, a side chick, this one and that one, and then, you know, you got to navigate that with a Rolex, a two-tone Rolex, a gold one for that one.
Engraved.
How long
engraved.
do you want her to stick around, and when you want to get, you know?
So who gets a better gift? The wifey, the baby mama, the side chick? Who's
Well-
getting the good
I'm
gifts?
so
Right.
curious his
Well, I
answer.
mean, first, you know, like when I spend money on a woman, I make sure that I spend more on my mother than I do on, you know, some chick, because I don't feel right if I'm going to be taking care of some girl, but not taking care of my mother. You know, that's the way I feel about it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, but so there's a budget there, and the more you spend on
That's like
this,
the most PC. Like no girl's gonna get mad at that, but they also are also like, wow. I mean, spend some.
yeah, well,
What a
you
great answer. You've
Thank
practiced that before.
Protecting
Politician
Well, I
answer.
live it. I don't practice it, but you know, I'm not going to spend. Listen, if you're going to transact it, I'm not going to spend X amount per month on a girl, and then you know my mother is working towards retirement. I'm just not going to do it. So I'd rather. And then so if you're going to spend $10,000 a month on one girl, you
Yeah.
have to spend $10,000 a month or more on your mom. Or
Did you
give
say
her that.
$10,000 a month?
Well,
on a
you
girl?
know that's a possibility in certain cases. If
He's
you're a
in the
baller, I
NYC.
guess I don't know.
Okay.
You know, give her a little budget, or you know, cut it down to 5. I guess I don't know.
A month.
I mean,
Where
you know,
are you
this is
from?
it.
This is nothing for Land of the Mills and
Okay.
Sugar Daddy Land. I'm
Right,
from
so
OC.
that's too much for him, too little for her. So you know that's why you girls are here to help us out. I mean, I don't know how
Okay.
much should be spent and what should be budgeted out.
By the way, just real quick, because I want the ladies to weigh in. You're big time jeweler, New
Right.
York. You know, we kind of introed you
Sure.
earlier. What percentage of your clients or people that are coming in your store are men or women?
I mean, the guys bring the girls along most of the time, but I'd say it would be 60-40 guys
Really?
to girls. Yeah.
So women are just rolling up solo status, buying jewelry for themselves?
They might be buying a gift for their guys or something like that.
Mama
some
milk.
cases, or
Yeah.
for themselves. You know, the girls are up there and they're shopping.
Okay,
so.
so there's rules and exceptions.
Right.
Let's stick with the rules. Is
Right.
it mostly guys buying gifts for their girl or showing up with their girl? I don't know too many chicks that are just
Right.
balling out at jewelry stores buying
Right.
their guy something.
Right.
You tell me, bro.
They're-
Which one
they're-
is
they-
it?
Listen, some people are doing a dignified little transaction. They're buying a gold chain, or a woman might be buying for her son. It's not always guys and girls, you know, so on and so forth. But if you're talking about what we're talking about here is guys gifting girls, then, you know, the girls, you know what they like. They like Cartier love bracelets. They like what other girls like.
Cartier.
Yeah, Cartier love bracelets, Van Cleef little color pieces,
Yeah.
which they're doing a lot of aftermarket, you know, under the table stuff like that. You'd save a lot of money on that end. And a lot of status pieces, because the girls, they love status. They want the jealousy, you know, like men.
What's a status piece? What do you mean by that?
I mean, they love, you know, the
Rolex.
Cartier bracelet and a gold Rolex. It's just whatever the other girls are doing, that's what I've noticed, and it's no offense. But the girls, they're not thinking for themselves. They let the other girls think for them.
True.
Right? You know, they see one girl doing this and they gotta have it, and they compete for that, and they'll do
Copycat.
anything. And it's sad. It's to me, it's not very attractive to me.
All
But,
right. Well, let's let the ladies weigh in. I see
Yes.
you're like Melitsa over here is like
Get them
you're
going.
wagging your head. I don't know if it's like in disappointment, approval.
It is disappointment, actually.
Okay. What are you
because
disappointed in?
For me, it's like that's a low value mindset for women who think that they need to keep up with the Kardashians, if you will, right? So what is the value that you get to add to your man that he's proud of you for how you show up in this world? And you have all these other women that just want to be copycats and, you know, pretend that they are somebody because of what they have. But what do they get to offer to humanity with the way that they show up?
Not a lot.
Exactly.
says no.
So the way he's talking about it, it's actually embarrassing. And that's why most women get the reputation that they have, because they don't believe in themselves enough that they can create something that they can actually show up and represent themselves and purchase that with their own money.
Well, let me ask you,
what does
Chantelle.
that
Let me
do
ask you a
for her,
question.
no?
What's wrong with a woman being a gold digger? Like, I feel like that's gotten a bad rap. I don't know if it's Kanye's song and he's like, you ain't not messing with a gold digger. But like, is there something wrong with a girl being a gold digger?
I mean, I think if she's not reciprocating, so if she's digging gold, but then what is he getting in return? So fair exchange isn't robbery.
So you're okay with transactional relationships? All right,
Let's just call relationships transactional. Period.
because they
darling.
are.
They absolutely are. And women to say, "Oh, what's wrong, gold digger?" That is inherently in women to seek the best man for her offspring. She wants the deepest pockets, and typically that's the number one for women. They are not worried about presents, as we know. They're not worried about other stuff. They have their plan to get that cha-ching in the bank, to get the rollie paired with a couple Cartiers, one gold, one silver, maybe some with some diamonds. I know how it goes. I'm from OC. And that is the status. And then the bigger the carat, it's like I need 6 carat or more. That's small, but that is what women are going for. You're right.
Yeah.
It is a gold digging thing, and I think that's normal. However,
I don't
it's-
know what kind of women you girls are around, but that's not the kind of women
But
that I'm
no,
around.
Like, let me clarify,
just
because
women
I
in
think the
general.
problem is only if she's not reciprocating. So if she wants all of those things,
But women don't, let's just be honest, 99% of women do not reciprocate. They
So-
get that ring, and then they get plus size, they get the fupa, they sip their wine at 12, they buy their $12 juices after Pilates, and they're just rolling the kids around in the Rover. They're not giving their man blowjobs when he comes in the door. I am, but that's why I bag
So-
25-year-olds.
So, okay, so you're calling out women right now.
I'm calling out women.
But are you calling out women, or are you calling out men indirectly? Meaning, like, if men are wifing these women up, they're spending money on rings, whatever.
Yeah.
Isn't it the man's role to be like, honey, this is where I'm at. This is
But
where I
men-
need you to be at.
But men are women today. There's no more men in the world. We've talked about this.
Right.
The men are enslaved to the women who are coming to his jewelry store to buy, and I saw that look, to buy the bling so that they can keep up with the Kardashians or the Joneses, as we used to say at old school, right? And they're running the relationship. Women are running the relationship.
Is that what you're seeing in the store? Like when a couple shows up,
You don't got to be in the store to see that. I mean,
Thank
this
you.
at this stage in this society, it's really crumbling in the sense of commitment and relationships. With Instagram and this and that, it's all about a thrill and short-sighted thinking, and digging a deep hole and then jumping in it and getting buried alive. I mean, that's really what's going on in this society. Some women are trying to get status and money, and I'm a businesswoman, and then another girl is doing this, and another guy's doing that, and everybody's going on a journey to nowhere, if you ask me.
and that's cool. Obviously, we can talk for days about
Sure.
the pros and the cons of
Right.
social media. But what I'm addressing right now is, let's just be very clear: a guy and a girl walk in a store. Okay, they're together, right? We're talking about like the wussification of men and boss babes, whatever that duality is.
Right.
But what are you seeing when a guy's like, all right, babe, like, what do you want? That actual interaction,
Right.
like I've been there in
Sure.
like the store, like, oh, babe, we want this. And like, all right, well, I want this. Like, it can get awkward, yes. But you're saying that like guys are being wusses and women are just like trouncing all over them
I'm
and
not
running all
really
over them.
saying
And,
that.
and the man will just kind of simp and buy them whatever they want. What exactly are you saying? You're saying
That depends on how deep their pockets are, and when a guy is really trying to get a girl, he might do more, right, in the early stage, and then, tapers off in the later stage. So it turns into this cat and mouse game.
Why do you think it tapers off?
Because
he has to, right?
the girl's playing hard to get in the beginning, and then when she's gotten, then things change. The dynamic changes naturally. But people don't really face that music, and they face that fact. But that's a kind of a sleazy relationship. There's other good relationship where the guy's coming in with a girl and he's buying her something because he loves her. You know what I'm saying?
Well, this kind of goes back to my point, where it's like you're saying all relationships are transactional. Everything's transactional.
Correct.
But there's good transactions, there's bad transactions, there's equal
How's it
transactions.
defined?
Right.
Like not every transactional is not a bad thing.
And
It's like if I'm not
everything is
bringing something to the
transactional,
table,
no.
you're not bringing something. That's fine. But I think what we're talking about here is the difference between simping and pimping.
Yes.
Like simping is like I haven't even gotten with this girl yet,
Right.
but I'm gonna try to buy her affection.
Right.
Versus pimping is like, oh, my girl's down for me. Let me reward her loyalty.
Yes.
So there is a
Correct.
difference
Yeah,
in this
there's a difference.
transactional relationship we're talking about.
Yeah, but they were also talking about the man being like the sissy and
Yes.
the man being like the sissy in the relationship. And for me, that just goes to show the lack of leadership in society, period. Because, like, for example, if I'm talking about someone like you, I wouldn't look at you that way, that, you would be ruled by a woman.
He's rare, dear.
Or, yeah, but think about the leaders that we have, right? Pat, like,
Yeah.
Tony
Rare again.
Robbins and, like, all these
Rare
amazing
again.
people.
Yeah.
The majority of society, they're not thinking about personal development, leadership. Let me get into a role where I'm not going to attract this kind of behavior from people.
Well, that's why we have this show. You're talking about this very small percentage of men who are actually fucking men, who have balls, who have a lingam, and they use it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And
But
they-
there's also a lack of leadership where men need
well,
to
look
step
who's,
up
look
into
who's
like.
ruling our country right now. Need I say
I mean,
more?
but then we also we talk about men need to step up, but are women willing to step back for
Women
men to
have-
step up? With the feminist movement, they're not.
Well, women have to surrender and submit, and women are unwilling to do that because of the feminist movement, the Me Too movement, women wanting to be successful, more successful than men. Women think that the more successful are, the more that men want them. And that actually drops your market value. Your sexual market value declines the more successful you are. You guys saw my
Yeah.
video backstage.
Yeah. And then that goes back to women wanting to be boss. Everybody wants to be a boss.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably is going to turn out to be a mistake,
I think it
because,
has already.
if a relationship works with one dominant and one submissive partner, if both are competing for dominance, and a girl is saying this and she wants to take a left and you want to take a right, then it just turns into whatever it is. And if she's financially independent, she is going to, want to take that left anyway,
Yeah.
and go through all that, and then the ultimate sacrifice there is the family unit, which disappears. You could be
Yeah.
as successful as you want to be, and you could be everything you want to be, but then you're not going to have time to have a real family and have a family unit and develop that properly, and that's going to put pressure on a civilization.
Yeah.
How many women today are like, I want to be a mom and a wife. I want to serve my husband daily. I want to give him
wanna be a
daily
mom and a wife.
blowjobs.
There's one.
I want
I
to
want to be a mom and a wife.
push out
but
kids
I'm not gonna be,
naturally.
like,
I want to
really
breastfeed my
just
child
serve, and that's
for
all I'm gonna
more
do.
than 2 months. No, women do not do that shit anymore. They're like, I want a surrogate. I'm not going to breastfeed. It's disgusting. I tried it for a month. It's like vomit.
Not in mass, at least.
It's just like it's not normal anymore. You're
Well,
again.
let me
rare.
let me pose a question, because 90% of our audience are men, and we want men to improve, right? So everything that I ask and everything that we do here is to help men become better. Like the number one thing a man can have is high status. You hear this terminology, high value man. So whether that's money, so what comes with money? Wealth, access, network,
Influence.
success, influence, all that stuff. Okay, so that's one component of like the triangle, all right? Then you have, what else is important for a man today? To be a fucking man, to be a masculine man, whether that's like the way you look, your physique, your strength, the way you carry yourself, the way you dress, all that stuff like that, okay? Then you have a man's swag, his personality, like his game. Like, is he a funny guy? Is he a cool guy? Is he swag? Like, and if you're the 10% of either of those categories, whether it's 10% wealth, 10% looks, physique, attractiveness, or 10% game, you're going to get women. You see what I'm saying?
1000%.
But each man out there should be striving to be in the top 10% in each of those.
They don't know
That's
how
the
to do
goal.
it, though.
No, exactly. Well,
He's
that's
gonna
why.
tell
That's
us.
is why we have conversations
in
like
my
this.
opinion, I think emotional intelligence work, that they get to tap into that mindset work. And the thing is that in today's society, most men are driven by ego. What do I drive? How much money I'm making? What girls that I get to, add into my life, right? And they're not ending generational trauma. So what they continue to do is adding this trauma to their sons and showing them behaviors that are not going to help them develop. So men get to tap into, how can I better my mindset? How can I end the abuse that my father and my mother gave to me, right? How do you end generational trauma? And I think the most important thing that a man could do to create the life of their dreams, besides wealth, is basically healing themselves and getting into emotional trauma work, period.
And how do they do
see,
that?
I disagree respectfully.
And that's fine. We can disagree. I think that there's a major difference between a man going through trauma and a woman going through trauma.
1000%.
Hear me out.
Okay.
I think a man going through some trauma, for the most part, is a very good thing for a man. Okay? I think, I've dealt with some freaking trauma in my life. I don't talk about it because I've dealt with that shit. I had an abusive father. I had, he was handicapped. I dealt with all sorts of stuff. We got by on disability. It made me, I never wanted to be in the house. I used humor to kind of hide some of the pain that I was dealing with, but it made me get out there. It made me network. It made me become stronger, maybe more resilient, maybe have access to other friends. A man has to kind of go through some shit. It's different for a woman because you hear oh, she's brought a lot of baggage to the relationship. A woman who goes through trauma, and once they get through it, respect, God bless. But it's a lot harder on a woman. I don't want a woman who's been through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Because now I'm oh my, unless she's handled that trauma,
which most
now
women
that's
have not.
my fucking issue.
So then,
Whereas in a relationship, you're gonna deal with some issues.
Yeah.
And your girl wants to know yo, my man has been in fights before.
Yeah.
He's gotten his ass whooped.
Yeah.
He's gotten fired
He's
from a
lost
job.
tons of money and gotten it back.
And now he's back. He's resilient. It's different. So yes, I think healing trauma is very important. But how we said, there's different types of transactions in relationships. There's different types of trauma that we can deal with.
why
here.
do you think the suicidal rate is higher with men? Because they're not dealing with
prescription.
Yeah.
They're not
medication.
dealing with it properly. You know what I mean? And they don't know. You're not aware of what you don't know. And they don't know that there's actually emotional support and programs out there that are actually going to help you get.
Let me
I
tell
see-
you,
I think-
you brought up a very good point because more men are killing themselves, more
Correct.
men
Look
are
at what
depressed.
just happened to Twitch.
And
He looked like he had it all figured out.
Yeah.
Right? Amazing, beautiful wife, beautiful kids, successful with money.
What happened with
What the
him?
hell?
He
What
killed
happened?
himself.
Straight up.
DJ
He
Twitch,
shot
yeah.
himself. You didn't know
Just
about
last
this?
week.
I know that he died. I didn't realize there was
He
a
shot
suicide.
himself. He went to a hotel
Holy
room and shot
shit.
himself in the head.
Wow. That's what happened?
That's what I'm talking about.
So, okay, I know that he died. I don't watch Ellen. He was on the Ellen
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Okay. So, this reminds me of, because what we're talking about here is a guy who seems to have it all on social media. Behind the scenes, he's literally thinking about killing himself, which he did. The first person I think about is who? Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
Is
Robin
there
Williams.
anybody?
Robin
Robin Williams,
Williams.
too. But Anthony Bourdain, is there anybody that had a cooler job than that dude?
yeah.
Your job was
Maybe
to just
Robin
travel
Williams,
around the
yeah.
world,
Eat
meet
dope food.
interesting people, eat awesome food,
And write
and
about
just
it.
talk about it.
So that's exactly the reason why I brought up emotional intelligence, and it's important to do the work because you're not aware of what you don't know. You're strong and you went through a lot of crazy shit, so did I. But I knew at one point, I'm like, okay, I want to get to the next level of my life. Let me heal what I went through in order for me to be able to support and help other people. So not every man is as strong as you, which is the reason why the suicidal rate is so much higher with men.
Yeah.
I don't think that's
don't
an
think
issue.
it- yeah,
I
go
think
ahead.
I think what it is, as women, we deal with our trauma differently than how men deal with their trauma. So we try to push the therapy. Therapy is important, but we try to push the emotional intelligence on men, the therapy, when they deal with their trauma by hanging out with other men, by playing basketball, by sitting in the barbershop, things like that. So we're different at the end of the day. So we can't fix our traumas. Men can't fix their trauma how we fix our trauma, basically. And I think that's the biggest issue.
So how do you think that men should fix their trauma or issues, and how should women?
I think women should definitely do the therapy. Women are more
It's
the
not therapy.
nurturing.
Emotional intelligence isn't therapy.
Well, yeah, but how would they fix their trauma? Both genders should be emotionally intelligent.
No, go ahead, answer
But
it,
how
go
they
ahead.
fix their trauma?
Yeah.
Women fix your trauma by going to therapy, by speaking with your girlfriends, by hanging out with other girls, other women to mentor.
Yeah.
Men fix their trauma by doing things like working out, hanging out
We
with
call it
men,
Shiva
masculine
shit,
men.
Shiva shit.
That is why back
Shiva
in the
shit.
days, the girl went to the woman and the boys
Yeah.
went to the men.
We're not addressing the real issue here, though. We are trying to turn men into women. Let's be
Exactly.
honest. I don't believe in the whole trauma, blama. Look at Tony Robbins, who has mentored me personally, has agreed to do an interview with me, which I will get, and works with my nonprofit. He went through, you've heard his story, right? Did he ever do therapy? No. Did he kumbaya it? No. You know how he fixed his trauma? He put his body into motion and did, as I call, I'm sending you t-shirts, Shiva shit, and reprogrammed his mind to create the life he wanted. There was no sitting with therapy is fairly useless. And even
I was never talking about therapy.
Okay, let me finish my thought, please. So when we're talking about men being like dealing with their trauma, it's like we need men to man the fuck up and take that trauma and go do something in life, create something in life. Tony wasn't a product of his environment. You're not a product of his environment. I don't know Pat's story. I'm sure it wasn't pleasant
no,
because he's
not at all.
successful. The more trauma, the more success. Where do we need to talk about prescription medication and what that's doing? Do you know all the shooters? Do you know what they had in common? They were all on SSIs. Did I say that right? SSIs, the antidepressant medication. That for these young, they've all been Caucasian, and they
Yeah.
go in and they do their thing. And the common link between all of them was the medication that they were on. So we're our medical situation in regards to prescription drugs and how it's used so illicitly, and it's being prescribed like candy, and then we're mixing alcohol in it, and then we talk about the unhealthy view that men have to their sexuality, to masturbation. If you want to know what men need, they need to learn to master and control their sexual energy. That's the biggest flex in the world. I was listening to Mantak Chia's book today. When you have control of your sexual energy, it creates a supernatural spiritual power within you where you're like, you think more clear. You're out of the matrix. But you understand what I'm talking about?
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't want to be a slave to sexual desire.
I say that all the time. You want to master your sexual energy, not let your dick master you. Men are slaves to their dick.
Yeah.
They're slaves to
Not
ejaculation.
everybody.
Well, one of the things I always say is like the circle of life. Like men want women, guys want girls. Girls just want to have fun. We've all heard that
Right.
song before, right? Like you put that song on, every girl's dropping what they're doing and singing. Girls just want to have fun. Fun costs money. Okay,
Right.
whether you want to go to dinner, you want to go to travel, you want to go on a vacation,
Right.
whether you want to go on a goddamn picnic, you still got to go get items for the
Everything.
picnic.
Right.
So fun costs money. So as a byproduct, men need to make money. And now, why do men need to make money?
To take
Because
care of
guys
women.
want girls. Back
Right.
to the beginning of the circle. I think I do a whiteboard on this right here.
Well, listen.
But
It's very
that's
in-depth.
that's what it is.
Just to point out, I mean, women, they peak out early and men peak out later. And there's a natural balance, nature thought of this, I suppose. Young men, they want beautiful girls, but they might not be able to take care of them, attract them, or so on and so forth. So they got to wait their turn, while guys
course.
that are already have established themselves, like a 35-year-old guy or a 40-year-old guy that's made the right decisions as he was a younger person, is going to be successful, is going to be able to attract girls. And attract girls that are in their 20s, I suppose, right? And they get to go and jump on a plane for free. I mean, like when I was in my 20s, and you'd have to compete, you want a girl to come with you, and she's the same age as you, but she has the option of jumping on an airplane and going to, the islands, or hanging out with you in your room.
Or your Honda.
You know what I'm saying? And they choose, they might not choose love or a long-term relationship. They choose, that fun. It's very hard to say no to that.
Girls just want to have fun.
Right. Everybody wants to have fun. It's not just girls, but they have a hard time saying no to that, and they make an
course.
investment in all that, and they're usually going with the same guy, just 15 years older or something along those lines, and then that shift changes. But that's a dirty game. I mean, you got to be careful how to play that. You don't want to end up old and unloved and
Old and unloved. I love it. That's
you
a
know,
T-shirt.
I wouldn't want to be in that situation if I was a girl.
Unless you're Mama Melf and you're lucky and you
Well-
get a 25 or 26.
Right. Well, you got to
True.
play your part as a woman or a guy. You got to play your part, and you got to make the right decisions.
I like what you said there. There's a video. We don't need to play the video, but basically, where she was talking about why women like older men, and she gave 4 reasons. Okay, she said maturity, wisdom, experience, and then more than likely they've had the opportunity to quote unquote secure the bag. Okay, so one of the things I always say is, for the most part, I get it that there's rules and exceptions. Men should not focus on a serious long-term wifey type relationship until they're 30. Conversely, women should try to lock something down
Yeah, before.
significant by the age of 30.
Yeah.
So the significance of the age 30 is a little bit different, right?
Right.
Like how you're basically prioritizing that age. So let me open it up to the panel. You talked about a woman in her 20s versus a guy in her 20s. What do you think is the ideal age difference between a man and a woman in a relationship? You want to go first?
10 years. 10 years make logical sense.
10 years.
Personally, yeah, that's what I do.
So
10
break
years.
that down.
So if 25.
You're how old, by the way?
I'm 31.
31.
Oh,
So
you're
you want to be with a
baby.
41-year-old?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
40 and older.
Okay.
I'm ideally.
Ideal.
At 20, if a 21-year-old girl, she should not be dating anyone her age, especially if she wants marriage, relationship, kids. 21.
No one your age.
No one your age, no.
Okay. What do you think about that? Because I know you kind of go the inverse situation.
15 years younger. I'm 41. No, I'm the exception, not the rule. I just like them young and tall and dark and all that good stuff. Sorry, my mind was going somewhere. I don't know. I think that there's something to be said with, because women are looking for a provider, let's be honest, right? Typically, you're not going to find the emotional maturity, which you talked about, I agree, that is needed to really sustain a family and to be the provider, the protector, presence, as we talked about in the last episode. You're not going to necessarily find that in a guy that's under 30. I just don't think it's happening. So I think for women, their best bet is, to typically go maybe 5 to 10 years older. They're senior, who's a little more established. However, I think women's expectations need to calm the fuck down a bit. Like, a lot of women will be like single in their 30s, single with no kids, no disrespect. I'm 41, I'm single, so it's all good. Not hating. And they're like, I want a man who's never been married, who doesn't have kids, but who can give me 6 figures and above, can give me the 5 kids. It's like, bitch, you're the fucking delusional, dude. Like, I will ruin your day in about 6 seconds. Like, there's nothing wrong with a man that has been married, that has a kid. First of all, I think it's good no offense, Adam, I like you. You and I have our thing.
Go ahead, offend me, go.
I'm going to offend you. I think it's creepy when a man that's over 30 has never been married and doesn't have kids.
Over 30?
Over 30?
Yeah.
Over 30? So you want men to get married by 30?
Sorry, 35. 35.
Oh, I fully disagree.
Because
Because
I
I'll
know.
tell you, hold on.
Okay. I know times are changing, but it shows that you can't
Times are-
commit.
Well, I'm
Well, that-
36. I don't feel too comfortable that I don't have a family. Didn't start that, so I feel kind of behind on that end.
I don't
Well,
want to, I'm
at
not trying to
35,
disrespect.
no.
It shows
I'm
if
not
you
worried
have a
about the
kid,
disrespecting.
it does show that you at least committed to the kid and the woman, even if you're not together. Okay, I can provide.
I'll tell you what's
protect.
happening.
All right, tell
okay,
me.
I'll be the guy for a second, but I want to come back to you and get
Tell me.
your age difference as well. I didn't feel. I roll with a crew in Miami
Okay.
who, you said you're 36?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm 41. I roll with the crew who are in their late 30s, early 40s. Let me tell you about these
All
guys.
right, tell me.
I'm talking about these guys. By the way, all my friends who are my age, late 30s, early 40s,
Hook me
they're
up, Adam.
married, kids. 95% of my friends. I love you guys. I see you guys once a month at friend dinners. I never see them beside of
Yeah.
that. I'm talking about the guys that I roll with nonstop in
yes,
Miami.
yes.
They're 38, they're 41, they're 42, they're 44, they're 36. They all are in shape. They all are good looking. They all are successful. They have multiple girls that they're dealing with. They have their pick of the litter. They have a network. They have access. They travel. They make money. Do they have commitment issues?
Yes.
Maybe, because they got so many fucking hot girls that they
Yeah,
can
yeah.
choose from.
I'm not saying
so
it's not good
those
for the
guys
but
are in a great position. And by the way,
Yeah.
I ask every single one of these guys, how much longer are we doing this? Like, how much longer are we doing this?
They say another 10,
and
15 years, right?
some guys say, dude, I'll go to, I'm 50.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, bro, like, I'm ready to check out. Like, any week. I meet the right girl, peace
done.
out, y'all. I'm never talking to you motherfuckers again. But, like,
You're gonna
there's
see
a
them
difference.
once a month. Then.
Once
I'll
you
see
build
my
a-
boys. But you understand, because
Right.
you're a successful guy.
Sure.
Because guys have these types of conversations like, when should we hang them up?
Yeah.
Because the most, like I talk, these are the happiest
There's
types
no
of guys.
hanging it up, bro.
No,
once
there's-
you build
what
a
do you mean? Of
habit,
course there's
once
hanging it
you
up.
build a habit of different women,
I kinda
where
That's
are you
not
gonna
true.
hang up?
You're
I'll
an
tell you the
anomaly,
happiest
Adam.
and the
You're
unhappiest
not normal,
guys.
love.
I'm not abnormal. There's a plenty of guys in their late 30s
That
who
will
are
hang
successful.
it up. That will
Who
hang
hangs
it up, like you
What does
said.
hanging it up mean?
Meaning
Hanging
being
it up,
loyal
being in a
and-
monogamous
Thank you.
relationship,
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what
I
we're
don't-
talking about.
trying to run through as many women as
I
you
don't
can.
believe
Well,
I
it's very
side with
difficult
him.
to do
He's
that.
been
tell
there,
you.
done that. So
I'll tell you the
nothing-
happiest guys and the
habits die
unhappiest
hard.
guys,
Right.
in my opinion. And then
Right.
Tell
I'll
me.
open it up.
But then I can tell
The
you
happiest
stats.
guys is a 45-year-old dude who made his money, made his millions, went through the struggle, had plenty of options, and was like, dude, if and when I meet the right girl of what I'm looking for, because I've already had blonde, brunettes, international, foreign, domestic, fat, skinny, thick, black, I had it all.
You had it all.
And now I know what I'm looking for.
Right.
Once I lock that down, like, I'm gonna set the tone. I'm gonna lead. Those guys
I
are
hope that's
so
true.
freaking happy. I'll tell you who's unhappy too, bro. The guy that was dating the girl when he was in college or after college, and he's dating her for 4 or 5 years, and like he's getting the pressure to like, oh, everyone's getting married, everyone's getting engaged. This is happening. This is happening. He's not ready. He hasn't had the experience yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Next thing you know, she's like, no, babe, like it's do or die. Are you marrying me or not? He succumbs to the pressure, buys the ring, boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, he's got 2 kids with the girl. She's gained 50 pounds.
Fupa.
Next thing you know, he's like, holy shit, bro. Take me out with you in South Beach one time,
One
bro.
time.
Please.
But do you want to
I'm
hear
like,
the
dude,
stats
okay.
of who's happiest?
So
do you want to
my
hear the
point
stats?
is, stats are great. I'm telling you what I've
Okay.
experienced.
Okay.
But go ahead.
The stats of the happiest people, this is psychology studies
Oh, sorry.
from married men, women, single men, women.
Yeah.
The happiest demographic, guess.
You're going to tell me, I'm assuming, virgins who don't know any better because ignorance is bliss.
Happiest demographics, married men, married women, single men.
I don't know.
Married men, happiest. Number 2, happiest.
Where did they get that stat?
Look up Gottman studies, look up marriage psychology.
Okay.
Marriage. I got this from a psychologist who works specifically with couples and
But
families.
how do
and
you
children.
gauge happiness?
But is that happiness after?
Let's
he's
just finish
had
it.
his
Finish
option?
it. The second happiest demographic.
Yeah.
When we'll look this up, she should look it up. Is married women. Okay, they're being
Okay.
provided for, protected, right? The next happiest one. Guess.
Single man.
Nope. Single women doing the boss babe stuff, happy
Mm-hmm.
as fuck with their sperm banks, their dildos, and their cats. The last least happiest demographic of all of them, single men. Do you
Okay.
know why?
Yeah, well, okay.
Not getting
You know
into
why?
Those dudes are on the bottom rung of society, and they probably don't have money,
And that
game,
could be-
or
and that could be-
athleticism or access.
It's a damn
So if
shame.
you're a 40-year-old dude who can't get laid, 40-year-old virgin, we've all seen that fucking movie.
Great movie.
Yeah, I can imagine while you're getting your like hair pulled off just to look good for a chick,
It
you'd
could
be pretty unhappy.
We
Steve
didn't say
Carell.
what the demographics
Yeah.
were, so that would be another study. But because men want to be, men are simple. Feed them, fuck them, leave them alone, give them their space, and don't ever cross them. Surrender and respect them. That's easy. That's what men really want.
I like that. That should be
Thank you.
chiseled in stone, what you just
Feed
said.
me,
Okay.
fuck me, leave me
But
the fuck
then to
alone
that
here and there, and
logic-
submit to me.
Then doesn't that contradict what you guys were saying, that it's hard for him to hang it up if he's been on the streets?
Well, I'm talking about this rare 1%ers of people who are in this demographic. Like you said, middle America people, single men, are not having that experience that you and your homies are having, where they're fit, over 40, single, no kids, stacks in the bank,
Yeah.
plethora of women. These women and men in middle America, not the same for them.
I understand, because the difference between Miami, LA, New York is you can go along a little bit longer. Meaning, like, I could do this until I'm 45. I know 50-year-old dudes out in the club. So Middle America gets a bad rap. Oh, you're in Middle America. You must be
know
a
what I
fat
mean. You
white
know what I
loser.
mean.
So, but you could do
kinda
this
true.
in Toledo, Ohio. You can do this in Detroit, Michigan. You could do this in Wichita, Kansas. It's improve, take your time as a man, Don't fucking pull the ripcord too early. Bring up your status, be in high demand, low supply, and increase your odds. I don't care if you're 33 in Wichita or 42 in Miami. It's play your cards right as a man and versus a woman. Let me open it up to something else. I want to get your guys' opinion on something. So I see what you stand for. I know what you stand for, but I think there's a common ground that I think that what men are looking for. So Chantelle, you're very outspoken on feminism. You call it a big lie. You kind of say that it's a poison destroying families. I've seen you say this, right? Obviously, you prioritize women locking down a man over like their career or their education, right? You stand for that. But Melitsa is an entrepreneur, does very well for herself, known for herself. She's empowered. She's an independent woman. So she's kind of like on the opposite side of the spectrum of that, right? But in my opinion, most men want a balance of both. Like they want a balance where it's like, yeah, I want you to bring something to the table, but I also want to be the man and be the alpha. Because I've dated hot chicks that I pay for everything and they do nothing, and I'm like, that's cool for the first couple months. That ain't cool for the next year or so. No. So like there's that balance. But then I've also dated women who are like more focused on their career than they are in the relationship. I'm like, I ain't gonna fucking give you my time if you're more focused on whatever law firm you're working at. So men want this balance. So in your guys' opinion, all three, what is the perfect balance in a woman that a man should look for?
What is the perfect balance in a woman that a man should look for? I'm going to go back to this. The woman that's doing the inner work. When you're doing the inner work, when you're meditating, when you're waking up at 4:30 in the morning to go to the gym and go work out, and you have accountability partners, and you're watching and going to seminars that have to do with mindset work, and this is a woman that truly loves herself. When a woman knows how to love herself, she knows how to love the man.
So it starts with herself.
Yes.
Loving
You can't
herself.
love someone if you don't love yourself.
Yeah.
If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not staying committed to your word, if you're not staying committed to your life, you're not going to be committed and love a man. You just can't.
That's a really powerful point. So there's men out, like, I'm wondering, do men want a girl who loves him more than she loves herself? Like, is that a bad quality to have as a woman?
No, absolutely not. And the thing is that in today's
Absolutely
society,
not. What do you mean?
A man does not want a woman that loves him more than she loves herself.
Got it.
He loses respect for her because now all of a sudden she makes him her world. That's work for a man. A man wants a woman.
She becomes clingy. Stage 5 clinger.
Exactly. A man wants a woman that brings peace to his life. Peace and harmony, right? No jealousy, no insecurity. That's his safe place. That when he's out there being a hunter and making shit happen, he can come to his woman at home and she feeds him with her feminine energy, whether it's cooking or a massage or I love you, baby, or having a gift for him or making love to him. That's really what a man wants. He doesn't want an extra work for his life. And that comes from doing the personal development work.
So you're saying that with everything, it comes with personal responsibility, accountability, and just being the best independent person you could be.
Absolutely.
So what I love about you is this, and I want to get your opinion on the other side of this, is you're by definition a boss babe. But by definition, when like you see a beautiful businesswoman on the cover of a magazine, it's like, yep, that's a boss babe. But that's, judging a book by its cover, because the words that come out of your mouth are very feminine, and it's very in tune with like who you like. You've diagnosed yourself, you've healed yourself. So when you come to a relationship with a man, you kind of understand what a man is looking for.
Absolutely.
Based on your answer. So, but that is kind of the knock on boss babes, right? So my point is this: people will judge a book by, oh, she's a boss babe. So how do you grapple with being in your feminine energy versus your masculine energy? Because, traditionally, if you're on the cover of fucking GQ magazine as a woman, you're imploring your masculine energy into life. But then when you get home, do you kind of have to like literally turn it off when you're with your dude? How do you handle that? How do you maneuver that?
I think men that feel insecure with boss babes, they're just not secure in themselves. I love a man that knows, like, he has a boss babe, but she'll be able to take care of him and have a great relationship with him outside of her work. Does that make sense? Like, I am completely, when I'm in a relationship, I'm completely feminine in my relationship. I don't emasculate him. I don't try to take control. I let my man lead me. And I think that's like a perfect recipe with a man. And I feel like a man that can handle me is a man that's very secure in himself.
Gotcha. So it's almost for the man, they need to be comfortable with themselves to handle that. But do you think that most boss babes are able to accomplish that? Like, how, for me, like if
Absolutely no.
like, can you turn it on and off is what I'm saying. Or how do you turn it
absolutely.
on and off?
I can.
Because that seems very difficult to do.
I in my
Like,
business,
let me point it out for you. If I was hunting all day, doing business,
Correct.
like I'm doing sales, I'm making content, I'm doing this, I got strategy sessions, and then I gotta go home, put the apron on, and like take care of the kiddies and change
No,
diapers.
that's not
that
what
would
I'm
fuck
saying. No,
my
that's-
world up.
That's not what I'm saying
Okay,
at
no,
all.
that's what I'm trying to establish. For a man, that'd be hard to do.
Yeah.
How are you able to do that as a woman?
You know what? When I'm in a relationship, I don't make decisions. Oh, babe, we're doing this, we're doing that. Let me pick the hotel. No. A man loves to do that for his woman.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean? I let him lead.
I think that what he's saying, if I may interject
Yeah.
momentarily, is that that's a very like tall order. Most women cannot flip roles. I'm one of them. I don't claim to have the business success you do. Obviously, my work is quite different, but I still lead, retreats with a lot of people. I speak to tons of people, and I'm in a dominant role when I'm teaching, because I have to present the more Shiva energy so that people respect me. It's very padded with the Shakti energy, but most people can't. That's masculine and feminine, by the way. Most women don't go in and out of that dynamic. And I think that everything she said was good, except for I think a woman needs to love herself. Yes, obviously. If a woman doesn't love her and take care of herself, she's not going to love and take care of you. Duh, that's like obvi. But I think that the commitment that she has to you should be like the commitment she has to God. Like her level of servitude and submission and surrender and sexual, her way of giving herself sexually should be that of what she does in church to God. And women will not do that.
I think you're going too far with that.
Yeah, I think so too.
But let me ask you
You
this.
think he's going too far?
It's going too far, but you have to
listen,
understand.
you don't need to be treated like a god if you're not a god.
Well,
okay?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he's not a god. Obviously, if he's not protecting, providing, and present with you, then no, of course he doesn't deserve that. Yeah. But I'm assuming that you've picked someone who is present, who fiercely protects you, who loves you, and is providing for you.
Okay, let's stay right there for a second. Very
okay.
interesting. Should the man be treated as a god? All right, so let's say he is. Let's just say, all right, I'm going to treat my man like a god.
Good.
Okay?
You should.
Okay, you should.
That's right.
My question is, when does that start? All right, hear me out here.
Okay, I got you.
That ain't starting on the first date, baby. That
Okay.
ain't starting out in the first month. Most women are not going to treat you like that until they have a ring.
Why do you
now
think-
when they have the ring, they're like, I got the ring.
I'm
now
out.
they're gonna take
Fupa.
50,
So,
like,
50%
when
of your
does
wealth.
that-
and
when
tell
does
you when
that
you can see your
actually
kids,
happen?
by the way. So
When does God complex actually occur?
I'm
waiting to get that.
Okay, I'm thinking, and this is not what women are doing, because remember, it's a coin toss if a marriage is
Yep.
working today. There's in the next 10 years, there's going to be more single women on the planet that are not having children
Correct.
than ever in any time in history. So the fact that women aren't doing this, now I'm not going to say the first date. I'm going to say when you see a sense of God, of Shiva in him,
Yeah.
this man, like for instance, if I'm on a date with you,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is Shiva incarnate. He's got his shit together. He gives to charity. He loves to help humanity. He didn't just make it the top and say, fuck you guys. He's trying to help other men.
Yep.
Like you have nieces and nephews. Check, 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 check. All these things. I'm like, this is God. I'm going to treat you as such on the first date if I notice all that. And
Wow.
Here's why.
Well, that's
Women,
nice.
okay. That is
Where do
great.
I
Max
sign
is
up?
like, how do I find
Hey,
that?
everyone's always like, how do we find you? They got to clone me. But here's the thing, love. Women are always like, I can't get a man to be there for me. I can't get a man to do this, A, B, and C. And I can't, I'm single. I don't understand. He said it earlier. someone has to always lead and someone has to submit.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want a man to step up and be a man and be Shiva, you got to submit and surrender first. You want a god? Treat him like a god. He'll start fucking acting that way.
Maybe.
Not necessarily.
I'm not saying to do that to a scrub. I'm not saying,
Exactly.
but I'm not. But
I
but
think
I'm not talking about like
it's
some
an
scrub.
energetic field, right?
Sure.
It's like it's
All
not,
men
you,
don't
you
deserve
shouldn't even
that.
go into it like thinking, this is what I need to do, and he's behaving this way, so I'm going to treat him this way. I think it's like this energy that when you just go on an awesome date, it just flows. You know what I mean? And if you're on the first date and it just doesn't flow, don't go on a date with that person again. You shouldn't be having to try hard or treat him like a god or anything. You should be feeling like the goddess on that date.
I'm saying though,
right?
that's obvious. Like energy is like you're talking about like using fluff words, in my opinion.
Nobody has to be a god or something like
No,
that.
absolutely
in any
not.
of these situations, you just have to work on an individual basis, depending on the person that you're with. In today's society, a lot of women got the wrong ideas. They're trying to be a power player, then they're trying to be submissive, then they're trying to be sexual, then they overplay their hand. You know, they want a guy with a Lamborghini truck and a this and a that in their 20s, and they want this and they want that, and then they're 30, and then they forget to look at the clock, and now they can't even have the half of what they were wanting in the beginning, and they don't realize it until they could have a quarter of it or a tenth. And, and that's ruined. And that's what ruins the society, because then it turns, guys into animals. These girls didn't want me when I was young. Now I want to use them up when I'm older. And,
everything that
that's where
walks.
we're at as a society, unfortunately.
Because guys,
with all these crazy ideas.
a part of the problem with men is that
They're jerks. No, just kidding.
no. Part of the problem with men, especially in today's society, is that it's like they want to get rich quick. It's like the Instacart, right? Just
That's too bad
Netflix,
for them.
Everything quick.
Amazon, get everything quick.
Yeah.
And what men need to realize, like you're 36, you're just coming into your own.
Right.
I'm 41. I feel like I'm in my fucking prime.
Yes.
The problem is that like when you're 21 and you see, a couple 21-year-old
If you don't want to wait your turn,
e-commerce tech nerds who make millions,
your turn might never come.
Like you're like,
That's
why
right.
isn't that me? But it's like, dude, give it 10 years and you'll
Yeah.
see what'll happen to you.
Yeah.
But most people don't want to wait 10 years.
Too bad.
Most people don't want to wait 10 minutes. They're like,
Well-
why aren't I rich now?
The
Go
only-
Dogecoin, click, hopefully to the moon. But that's not how life works. That's not how life
Everything's
has ever
quick,
worked.
including sex. 5 to 7 minutes, the average man lasts. So it's unfortunate.
Leave it to Janelle to bring up the sex. I'm trying to.
5 to 7 minutes.
Let me ask you a question, Chantelle.
It's over.
We talked about like the difference here, how she's able to like be a successful entrepreneur, but also have that female energy. Hard to do. She's able to do it. You've talked about like different ends of the spectrum, like the 1950s traditional housewife, right? Versus like the independent woman. Like, where are you at this category? And back to the question that I asked her, like, what is the perfect balance that a man should find in a woman?
I think the perfect balance is someone who is still able to be a boss, babe. And I wanted clarification from you. Can you be feminine while you're in your boss role? Like, is there feminine?
Absolutely.
Okay.
When you're doing your work and then all of a sudden your man shows up while you're filming a podcast.
But
hell
no, while you're doing your work, are you doing your work? Your man isn't around. Are you doing your work in your feminine energy or your masculine energy?
Actually, in my feminine, that's when I
Okay.
close more sales and bring more people
And
in.
I think that's where the issue was, because I was a boss babe owning the businesses and stuff, and I find that it was putting me too much in my masculine energy,
Yeah.
and it wasn't giving me my
It's very
dating
hard.
desires. So I gave up my businesses and focused on more things that would make me feminine.
Go you.
Because it's thank you.
Proud of you.
Because it's really is hard. You can do it. Shout out to you. It is hard.
It's really challenging.
Very hard. Probably like 3% of women can turn off their masculine energy when necessary.
like on command.
Just
When
like
most-
that.
when
And
most
But
people-
answer this question. So, what is the perfect balance for men? Because there's men out there being like, I don't know, I just want a hot chick. Let's just start with that. And then, okay, once I find out that she's hot, all right, she's cool too. Great. She's hot and she's cool. Check.
check.
Then, all right, what does she do? Does she have a job? Does she have a career? Is her goal to be a mom? Is her goal to be a housewife? Now, if her goal is to be a housewife, now am I paying for everything? I'm only making 60 grand a year. Holy shit, I kind of need her to work. There's so many questions a guy is dealing with once he gets through hot and cool. Hot and cool are number 1 and 2 on the list. If you're not hot and you're not cool, why am I wasting my time talking to you?
But-
so you're hot, you're cool. All right, great. Now, as a woman, what kind
What
of
else?
balance should a man look
Okay,
for
so
in a woman?
I don't think there should be any balance because we don't ask what kind of balance a woman should look for when she look for masculinity. We want masculinity 24/7. No matter if you're
Correct.
home, if you're at work, so why should a man then sacrifice femininity and look for a
Correct.
balance? You should be feminine. If you're feminine
I
24/7.
agree. I actually
So
like
it's just
her a
about your
lot.
femininity. It's not about your career.
I mean, you can have a career, you can have businesses and be feminine.
But it's
Like,
it's very rare. It's an outlier. Like most men, if you're looking for a woman and you want to wife her up and take her seriously, the only way she should be working, because remember, men want a woman who's submissive, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't want her to be influenced by other men, correct? But if your woman is working in the work field, she's listening to someone, she's submitting to someone else. She's not
Correct.
submitting to you. Her boss tells her when she can shit, eat, etc. So if you want your woman to work and pull money, because like you said, 60K, that's raising a kid on 60K, ha ha ha, very funny. You need dual incomes for many men, for most men, probably a lot of your viewers. So you need a woman to be working para tu, for you, in your business. Somehow, whether she's closing sales, you want her working, but you want her under the direct line of you, so that the only person that's impressing on her mind is you. She's not submitting or surrendering to another guy. So I think what a man should look for in a woman is number one, under hot and cool, geez, be more creative, but whatever, that's men, is how well can she submit? And will she pick you, if she is a boss babe, over her work? And 99% of the women will not.
By the way, we're going to answer super chats at the end. Nat, I know that you're managing those. So we want to hear your questions. We want to hear your thoughts. Quick little, if you haven't subscribed to Valuetainment, we'd love to have you.
Yes.
Hello. Nat, how you doing, by the way?
I'm doing phenomenal.
Okay. What's the
Yes.
chat saying? What do they want to know? What's going on here?
The chat is going good. We've got some comments. We got some disagreeing with some of you guys.
Okay,
Some
I'd like to hear
agreeing
that.
with some
Can
of
we-
you guys, but we'll get to the chats in a few
Okay.
minutes. So make sure you guys give us some good.
I'll tell you
super
what,
chats.
like, we talk about for a man playing the long game, right? So I used to see when I first started out in the financial world, like financial sales, I took a job. I got out of Miami. I was like, I got to get out of the nightlife scene. I moved to Boca, the land of the MILFs, down over here. So I used to see these women just like, I'm on my way to the office. It's 8 a.m., whatever it is. And I see the MILFs just walking on, like, you know, at the country club, like walking, you know, doing their little jazzercise. And I'm like, look at these fucking bitches. They don't got to do nothing, right? And here I am working away, and
Pilates,
there they are
legs.
just
Hang
doing,
out.
you know, jazzercise in the streets out here. And I'm like,
Fucking
so
the
that was
pool
a
boy.
perspective that I had it when I was 26.
Yeah.
Now, like, then I date a girl when I'm 36. So now this is 5 years ago. And here I am focusing on my career. I'm doing my thing. I'm trying to start a podcast. I started a comedy club. I got nightlife. I got so much going on. And she's like, hey, babe, like, I'm really struggling with this real estate deal. I'm like, real estate deal? The fuck do I care about your, like, I'm doing this. So the more and more that I'm looking at those milfy chicks walking at I'm like, those girls were there to have babies for their men,
And keep
to
their
look good
body
for their
right.
men,
That's
to be
right.
good wives. So like,
41
a
is the
man
new
will have
34.
a man will have like a different opinion the more success
Yes.
the more success that they have.
Yeah.
Because
That's
when I'm
right.
26, I'm thinking these girls are just trying to take all my shit and like
Yes,
not do
yes,
nothing.
yes.
And now when I'm 41 and successful, I'm like, I don't need you to work. I don't want to hear about your real
Just
estate
keep
deal.
your body tight,
I don't want to hear about
keep
that
your yoni wet, and let me inside of it when I want. It's pretty
Mm-hmm.
simple.
So it's interesting for a man, like how much growth happens. Like you're a successful dude, Max.
Yeah.
Like when you were 21,
Right.
the girl you were looking for, or the girls that you were pursuing, is probably very different from the girl that you're a wife up now, since you've had so much success in the
Not
jewelry
too
business.
much different, to
Not
be honest.
different?
I mean, I was
Because you still want
lucky.
them hot and cool, but beyond that,
Right. Yeah, I want a good companion. I don't really need anything other
That's
than
my
a
point.
beautiful young woman, to be honest, that doesn't give me a hard time, is a great companion. I could provide. I don't really need any, money from her or her to be independent. What's that going to do for me?
right.
Nothing.
So I agree with you.
Right.
But once you reach a certain level of success, if you're
Right.
making 40 grand a year and you can't pay the freaking bills and she's just sitting on her ass all day, you're gonna have a form of
you're
resentment
sold
there.
like a partnership. Like, in this country, you go to college and you're going to be able to merge and you build a household. That's why when you get divorced, you split it 50-50 because you all brought half to the table and now you divide it in half. But that's not usually what happens, and they tried to make that happen. Women have to go into the workforce, make as much. They can't really, it doesn't really work biologically, ultimately. That's the stress on the society. Women are not really meant to be a 50-50 equal in a relationship, providing 50-50. That was something that they tried, but it's not really working that hard and working that well. And, I'm not really interested in that. I'm from the former Soviet Union and from traditional families. And, as my personal family is concerned, when we were in the Soviet Union before it collapsed, my father was, more successful than my mother. When we came here, my mother became more successful than my father. And that's why they got divorced when I was around 25 years old, because the power structure changed in the relationship. And, I'm making more money now. I'm still doing laundry. I mean, that all that didn't work out. And whatever that was. And for me, I mean, I don't need to go back and forth with a girl or something like that. I know what I'm doing. I built myself up as a man, and I need a girl that just makes me happy. But then on the other side, that kind of leaves you with a void of some sort, which I don't know how to fill.
All right, you bring up a really good topic that I want to address, because let's just get down to the heart of the matter here.
Right.
This whole premise is, this is where finance meets romance, and
Right.
where men and money meet,
Sure.
women, and all this. So let's talk about who's actually paying for some shit. Okay, so Chris Rock has a bit about, like, there's something that happens when a woman has to reach into her pocket and pay, that as soon as the hand goes below the waist to grab the wallet, the pussy dries up. Like, there's some biological connection with a woman paying that all of a sudden ain't exactly where it wants to be. All right,
Right.
like, he did a whole bit about this.
She's not being
So,
provided for. She's not attracted
at the
to
end
that.
of the day, what percentage should a man pay for in a relationship, whether it's a full-on relationship, marriage, kids,
Situationship,
like
whatever.
situationship? What percentage should a man pay? What percentage should a woman pay?
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go
Go,
first.
I'll go
ahead.
second.
Well, listen, as far as, I pay for housing, food, transportation, for not just for women, really, for as many people as I can, or the family, or what have you, and especially for a woman, right? And then women, if she earns, if she has employment, which is great, she can, spend on frivolous things, right? Like, if I'm going to go on a trip, I'll pay for the flight, pay for the hotel, I'll pay for the car. She
Yeah.
might pay for a dinner, or she might buy
Correct.
tickets to a show.
Correct.
And that's nice. That's a nice gesture,
I like that.
So percentage-wise, you're paying
90%.
90%.
How do I get adopted into your family?
Guys, this is what I was going for.
said
We
you
got
pay
a
for it.
number.
Yeah.
Max says 90% he's
Okay.
paying for.
Yeah.
The woman 10%. Respect, Max. Thanks for
I
giving
love
me a
it.
number. Love it.
appreciate
Who would like to go next?
I'm ready. I got
Give
a
me a
great
number,
one.
Janelle.
Okay, I'm bad with numbers, so you'll decipher
You
it.
know 1 through 100, and you know percentages, so
gonna-
don't give me that bullshit.
I'm going to say, okay, I think it is contingent upon how his sexual needs are being met. For instance, okay?
Janelle will always bring it back to sex. Go
That's
ahead.
what makes the world go round.
Go ahead.
If you're in a relationship, an intimate sexual relationship,
Yes.
the only thing that differentiates your relationship from all the other ones is sex, right?
Sure.
You don't fuck your mom or dad or colleagues
Yeah.
or friends, right?
Let's not go to
Let's not
Oedipus
go that,
complexes here.
right?
Let's just
So
keep it kosher.
I think that he should pay
Good idea.
what is being reciprocated sexually. So for instance,
Ah.
you're getting daily blowjobs. I think
100%.
100%. Now,
So
Mama,
a blowjob a day keeps the bills away,
correct.
is what you're saying.
Now, Mama Melf, I'll tell you, in my own relationships, right?
Yeah.
My ex, who you met,
Yeah.
who came out the first time, I would buy, because he's obviously 26, right? He's not like you, he's not balling. I would pay for the flight and the hotel, right, to come here.
And he would get the blowjobs?
He gets them,
This
of
is a
course.
great deal.
He's
So you're
6'8".
paying for everything, and
you're-
I'm getting the
if
blowjobs.
She's doing the reverse.
No, listen, if you're
Okay.
6'8", you have an 8-pack and an eggplant like he's packing, you
Okay.
get all that. But what he would pay for, I will say honestly, he would pay for meals, and we're not talking just like whatever, North Italia, whatever, couple hundred, and all the Ubers.
You're
And
going to
for-
give me a percentage at some point, right?
What is that percentage? You tell me.
you tell me.
Is that like, I was paying for like
You're paying for the majority.
Yeah.
I mean, housing
Okay.
and transportation is the bulk
Very
of
Yeah.
the
unique.
expense.
That's very unique. Melitsa, you're an attractive woman, okay? You do well for yourself. You've already said the first time you were here, you ain't dating no brokies. You did that one time before. You ain't fucking with these dudes. You're abiding by the laws of hypergamy.
Yeah.
But, okay, so you're dating successful guys. What percentage does he pay for? What percentage do you pay for?
She only pays the Netflix bill.
I wouldn't say a percentage. I just feel like as a man and a woman, when you're going into a relationship, that both of you have success in your life, right?
So
in
what
your
are you gonna pay
career.
for?
And
Guys, I'm looking for numbers here.
I know,
because
I don't- I
if
can't.
already got
I
frustrated.
can't.
We're
I
in a
wanted
relationship,
your
and I'm already-
opinion, I would have said, what's
Okay,
your
so you know
opinion?
what? I think
What
the
is
man.
the
Okay,
number?
ready?
Well,
I think the man
stop.
should be
With
paying
numbers.
100%.
You think say it
100%.
again?
Wow,
I'm
she
saying
doesn't want to
Now,
dig in
this
her
is what I'm
pockets for
talking about,
nothing.
Melitsa. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you're
There's
saying a
nothing
man
wrong
is
with
paying
that.
100%.
100%.
Boom, we got something here.
Yeah.
You're a successful woman.
So that
you do well for
100% is gonna
yourself.
end up being
you make
zero.
more than 6 figures.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. No matter how well you do,
Yeah.
the man's still paying.
Yeah.
Men, you need to understand this because women these days, single women, there's a stat out there, we could put this out there. Single women are making, if not more, just as much as men these days.
Correct.
So now hear me out here, gentlemen, because, and I appreciate you saying that because you deserve the world. If you're making 50 grand and your girl is making 50 grand, you still pay for everything, buddy.
Yeah, right.
You're still paying for everything.
What is he getting for
can
that
I say
100%?
something? I'd like to say something.
Exactly.
I'd like
What
to
is he
say
getting for
something.
that 100%?
In your
Exactly.
world, it's different. We're talking
Yeah.
multiple 6 figures
So,
here. But even then, homie's still paying for everything.
What I do want to say is for
Yeah.
those men out there that are making $40,000-$50,000,
Yeah.
who do you get to become in order to make more? In order to make $100,000, $400,000, what's the work that you get to do? Who are the leaders that you get to follow to learn from, like you, to learn
Yeah.
about money, finances, Grant with real estate, Pat with entrepreneurship, like Tony Robbins for mindset and personal
100%.
development. So if you're at that level where you're only making $50,000 a year, that's what you're going to attract as well. You know what I mean? So who do you get to become to level up?
Well,
No doubt.
I don't know how
Obviously
that pertains
increasing your
to
status.
anything, but
Let
what
me
do
get
you-
to
what-
Chantelle for a
answer the
second.
question.
Let
Yes,
me
that's
get.
Let's get to Chantelle.
Yeah, you
We'll come back
know
to
the
that.
question. We're looking for numbers here, and I appreciate you giving that number.
So
Go
I'll
ahead.
say 70-30, but it depends on the age.
Okay.
Good.
The
I
younger
like
the
that.
guy,
Yes.
we talked about
See?
That's
before,
very sweet.
31.
That's nice, respectable.
If he's 31, I'm expecting
So
to
there's
pay
a sliding
30%.
scale here.
Yeah.
I was
I like
nice.
this.
However,
Sliding
if
scale.
I'm dating a 51-year-old, I'm
Thank
paying
you.
100. 'cause-
100.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
We think the same.
So the
51
closer
years
you
old.
guys are in age,
Yeah, yeah.
the more equitable 50-50 it is, bill-wise.
because we're both building.
The older you are, old man River, you're
better
paying
come
for
hard.
everything.
Right. The
Ask
issue in this
I actually
society.
don't disagree with that.
The issue in this society is women are overvaluing themselves,
Thank
demanding
you.
too much until they're not worth anything. All
Thank
right, that's a
you.
problem.
He said
Okay,
it. I
because
say
there's
it all
going to be
the
a
time.
generation of 50-year-old women or whatever it is. I don't want to put an age on it and be rude.
Yeah,
But
please
you
don't.
know that they're not going to be able to do all this and make all these demands, and that's a very sad situation.
Yes.
So what is a man, Melitsa, is getting
you.
exactly for this 100% that he's taking care of you?
And
head to
be
toe?
honest, don't lie.
What is he getting? A story?
Be honest.
You know,
No,
explanation.
He's getting
a
somebody that's
sandwich?
not going to settle, that she knows what she wants.
Oh my
I know what I want.
Ah.
I know what I want. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I've worked really hard to get to where I'm at. I've supported a man for 10 years. I was in a marriage for 10 years, which I shared with you last time.
Yeah.
I was the breadwinner. I paid for everything. So if I was willing to pay for everything and believed in him,
That was
Well,
a mistake that
but
you
that's
made.
on
Now
him.
you're
I
going to
don't
correct
think
that
it's a
mistake by
mistake.
doing the reverse?
no,
You
I
gotta-
don't think
I was about to wake
I
up
don't
and
think
see
it's a
that.
You put the
mistake.
You gotta
thermostat
wake
on
up and
120,
smell
now you put it on
Starbucks,
20?
sweetie.
I don't think it's a mistake.
I think
But
you
Melissa, if you were paying 100 in your marriage, right, and you were frustrated paying 100,
I
wouldn't the
wasn't
man be-
frustrated. Actually, we're building something together.
Oh,
I
okay,
get
okay.
that.
You know what I mean? We had businesses like.
But how
I
old
was
are
the-
you? No disrespect, because I think we're all an older panel here. That's
Yeah,
fine to say. that.
I'm 40 years
You
old.
hit the wall. You're like me.
I was
Okay,
married
sister.
for 10 years.
Great. So you got to lower your standards, and you will
I'm not
change
going
your
to
life.
lower my standards at all, ever.
But you're living in a pipe dream if you think that you're going to attract a man when you're making multiple 6 figures that's going to like be, and I'm sorry, you don't look that sexual to me. I'm just being honest. You don't look like you're giving blowjobs every day. And are you going to be
I
able
don't want to look like that, by the way.
Okay, great, cool. And let's see what kind of man you get. Do you think that you're going to be able to give up your business if a man comes Do you? You're going to walk and drop everything, the covers, because it's clear that your significance is what's driving your life. And you know Tony Robbins' work.
Okay, that's
Will you?
that's
Will
your
you?
opinion,
But
but
will
I
you?
think
I'm
you're
asking
completely
you.
wrong.
Will you? Would you?
I'm not gonna drop anything
That's
for
right.
any man.
That's right. My point exactly. You're delusional to think you're going to get a high value man who's going to pay your bills, who you won't suck his dick, and you're not going to drop your 6-figure business for him.
First of all, I'm not talking
Delusional.
anything sexual or what I'm
I
gonna do
know,
or
and
not
that's
do,
why.
but I have to disagree with you.
I will keep disagreeing because you're delusional. Like you said, you're going to wake up in 9 more years and you are going to be that woman like I talked about on Purple Pill.
think-
Do you have your eggs frozen?
I think people
should
that
get
talk
on it
like yourself
today.
are people that are very insecure with them themselves.
Oh,
Right, secure, insecure. This, you know,
it's
this
just
is real
the facts,
life,
sweetheart.
and it's
the facts.
desirability
I'm
and
very
all that
secure
other
because I can
factors.
speak
and-
the truth.
I
That's
think
the
I think an
difference.
important point we
And you
need
gotta
to
be
focus
honest
on
with
too is
yourself,
like
you know?
Thank
if
you.
a man
She's
a
mad
man
'cause
who
I'm
wants
being
to
honest.
I'm not.
I
Listen,
never-
first of
I
all,
didn't insult
I
you.
wanna acknowledge everybody for sharing the truth. I'm not mad at you.
You
I
insulted
actually,
me by saying I didn't insult you. I said you need to
I want
wait
to
and
acknowledge
smell
you
the
for sharing
coffee.
your truth.
Let's
I
one
want
at
to
a
acknowledge
time.
you as well
One
for
at a
sharing your
time.
truth.
Go ahead, Melitsa.
No, I just want to acknowledge
Yeah.
everybody because
But you
everybody
ins-
has a different opinion.
But
and
you
it's fine.
insulted
fine.
me.
But
I
you know what I
didn't.
mean?
I didn't
Why
stoop
did
to
hold on,
that.
Janelle? We're
That
cool.
was-
We're cool.
No, I'm just
Why
saying
did you
what-
feel insulted?
Because I simply said, you're delusional if you think that you're going to get a high value man with those terms. She went back and said, a woman who thinks like I am is insecure. You're judging my
But
self-worth.
you're telling me I'm delusional. It's the same thing.
Because we're talking.
So one of you guys
about
is delusional, one is
Okay,
insecure.
okay.
It's all good.
That's right.
Hey, listen, listen. Here's the beauty of what we're doing here. Everyone lives their
It's
own
cool.
life.
And
They
I,
have a
and
right
I
or wrong
acknowledge
answer.
everyone for their opinion.
All
I
good.
check back
Love
with you
it.
in 9 years.
Okay.
And see
I
if
think-
you
I
got
think-
your
Go ahead.
100%. I'm sticking
Yeah.
to that.
All
I
right.
think,
Chantelle, go ahead.
Melissa, I think, of course, have your standard, keep your standard, but then it's like, okay, a man who will pay 100% of the bill, what does he want in return? And I think that was his question, like, okay, what would you give
Yeah, what are you
him?
gonna provide? I mean, if
And
the
she's not
answer
willing to give up her
is,
business. She said that already.
I'm gonna tell you and explain to you how to detoxify your mind, and I'm walking out the door.
Correct.
Straight up.
Exactly.
First
They
of
don't
all,
understand.
loyalty, commitment, a family, a woman that is, ready to
So
create.
you
But
say.
You're not going to drop
Build
your
an
business.
empire.
How are you going to build a
so
family?
then here's the question. Here's the money question. Melitsa, that's cool. Do you
Yeah.
you know how much I respect you. We're good. Here's my question though. Why not 90? Why not 80?
Yeah, why not buy
Why does it
something?
have
man?
to be
Exactly. Why is
100?
that
Go to the
100?
store, get some paper
I'm
towels.
saying,
Come on.
like that's not a personal attack. That's
your,
just
your vagina
What-
is not gold. Come on.
stop it. Listen.
Just being
But
Buy
my
me some
point is
rolling
that's cool.
paper.
I love how
Come
she
on.
goes that route. It's all good, but,
But
It's not that
Melitsa,
route, it's
this
just
is
honest.
actually,
I need a new pair of
it's actually a real
sneakers.
question. That's cool. Like, we're not
Something.
arguing like whether you should get
Beyonce
this
got
shit. Like,
cheated
do
on.
do
Halle
your
Berry,
thing.
come on.
But for that guy,
Right?
like, so I'll give you a story. Like, I
are
believe in
bad
the
bitches.
80-20 rule. I believe in the 80-20 rule in life.
80-20, yeah, that's
80-20, just in general, in life. In any business, even in your business, business, the top 20% of any sales force are doing 80% of the business.
1000%.
Okay? The top 20% of men are getting 80% of the chicks out there.
Yeah.
That's just how it works. So if I'm dating a girl, I'll say, hey, look, here's the things that I'm covering. Boom, rent's paid. Boom, we got a car. Boom, meals, got you. Vacations, got you.
Insurance, whatever.
Like I got you. Boom, 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 boom. But there's no free ride, okay? No free lunch. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to get the groceries.
Yes.
I want you to cook the groceries.
Good.
That's
I
nice.
also realize that
Dry cleaning?
that you are, if you're in the house as like all day, that you're the one messing with the AC, this, that, the other. I'm gonna put you on utility duty, baby. It's 150 fucking bucks a month.
Yeah, come on.
It's not that big of a deal. So you've got groceries and utilities. What are we talking a month? 500
That's
bucks?
nothing.
Yeah.
I'm spending 5,000 a
1,000.
month.
What's that?
That's actually 10%. But the point is this. I think that is equitable. It's not, for me, it's not about a dollar amount. I will pay this and you will pay this. It's, we're doing this thing
for
together.
me, it's how
I
a
got
woman
you.
shows up, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'll cook, the house will be clean, the kids will be taken care of. Like, you don't have to worry about anything. When you're coming to
Yeah.
our home, you're gonna find peace,
Cool.
right? And that's what you
peace
provide.
doesn't pay
And
the bills, and you're gonna not. You're
Yeah.
you're not giving up your business. So how are you gonna be taking care of the kids and cooking and cleaning if you're
listen,
traveling?
it's possible. The women in my group, the women I surround myself with,
And
which you
those-
know a lot of them,
Yeah.
they're dating presidents, CEOs of companies. They're successful themselves,
And that's
they
why
take
their
care.
men are stepping out on them.
So if you met a dude,
They are, trust
I'm
me.
really focused on this number, and then I want to get Nat's number because she thinks she's off the hook here. I'm just
off the hook.
focused on this
I know
100%
Nat's
number. based on what I just told you,
Uh-oh.
if I'm like Melitsa, some dude,
Yeah.
he wipes you up.
Yeah.
Let's say he's a 48-year-old guy, bachelor, single, maybe he's got a kid, whatever. It's a
Yeah.
guy who's a little bit older, more successful. He's like, all right, cool, we're working this thing out. He's like, listen, babe, you're going to move in with me. I'm going to take care of everything. You run your business. I got you, whatever. We're going to implement Saz's fucking 80-20 rule. You're taking care of the groceries. You're doing utilities, whatever, minor stuff.
Listen, that's going to
You're
happen
gonna say yes
without,
to that.
without, listen.
But my point
absolutely.
is, okay,
Oh,
so it's
yeah.
not always
But
100.
it's not
Yeah,
100
but
then.
listen,
So it's
we're
80-20.
you wanted a number, I said 100. I feel
Okay.
like I'm worthy of 100, and it's fine. We'll go to the grocery stores. I'll buy some stuff. I'll put some gas in the car. That's fine.
Yeah.
Right? I know what I want
So
though,
it's
and
not
I want
100.
It's not 100.
I'll stick to 100.
Is it that you want a man to be
Love it.
able to pay 100?
Yeah, I want a man to be
Yes.
able to pay
Let's
100.
not forget the
but-
guys that are
Yeah,
paying
yeah, that makes
150% or 200%. They're covering everything and they're giving an allowance to the girl to spend some money, so on and so forth.
I don't want.
And
I don't need an allowance. I don't want an
Right.
allowance.
Well, you made that pretty clear.
I had a
I think
client-
that's put you out of the eligible
Yeah.
bachelor.
Go
I had a client that was very, very rich, very rich. He was buying me Rolexes from my own shop and my staff. So he was, close to $500 million, something like that. And he had a girlfriend in every city that he
course.
kept on an allowance.
That's right.
So I guess, you think about that 100%, then which road are you going down
Yep.
when you're going to
Yeah.
100, 110, 200%?
You're
He's
so
keeping it
right.
at home.
That's
He's buying
correct.
them
That's
gifts.
what I-
And they're waiting for him to fly in,
Pick him up.
have
in the
him a good
airport.
time, and then he goes to the next city, and that
And
was
he
his
is
hobby.
paying 100%, but you're sharing him, as I said.
That's true. With a guy like that,
Right.
if he's buying every...
So,
But here-
there's a price to pay for that
Yes.
100%,
Thank
and then you
you.
want that guy, and you want. There's these girls, don't let these other girls dupe you. You're going to get that 100%, and I'm not picking on you, because you blurted out a number, whatever. But if you're going to get that, you're not going to get loyalty, you're not
That's
going to get
correct.
commitment, and you're going to get this false story, and then you're going to end up in a lot of trouble. So,
That's correct.
follow your heart, girls.
That's correct. He's 1,000% correct.
100%.
I want 100%.
All those
Well,
women
here's
are
what I will
being
say, and then I actually want to pull up a video of our
giving in
friend
the
Max here
community.
and get the ladies to weigh in, because there's this talk in the manosphere and everything that's like, I don't really care what my girl does. Like, I don't really care how much money she makes. Like, I don't really need her to work. I don't care what she's bringing to the table. And until you've lived that life of a girl that you're taking care of, don't talk about it until you're actually about it. I'll tell you an example. Because I've lived that life where I'm like, I got you, babe. I was paying for everything, giving an allowance just because she was a hot, great girl. Amazing, amazing girl. If you're watching this, you know how much love I got for you. But here's the thing with the chick, and here's what guys need to understand. Just because you're giving them the allowance, do you know how fucking expensive it is to be a girl? Because on top of the allowance, let's say that's a couple grand a month, whatever it is, it's like, hey babe, it's actually, I gotta get my hair done this month.
That's right.
$400, $600, nails, pedicure,
Facials,
manicure,
Botox.
facials. You want me to look good for you, right? There's another $400.
Gym
Boom.
membership.
Hey, yeah, I'm going to the gym membership. Hey, by the way,
Fashion Nova.
Sarah's in town, and I
gotta
want to
go.
take my best friend out with me. And while you're working, I'm gonna take her. All right, cool. Here's $250 for dinner. Next thing you know, all of a sudden, I'm realizing how expensive it is to be a girl because you have no fucking bills. I'm paying for everything. I give you an allowance, and now I'm still coming out of pocket to pay for all this to make you look good. By the way, as a guy, you sign up for that because you want your girl to look good. I'm just saying to my friends out there, to the fellas out there, be careful when you say you don't care what a girl does or how much money she brings to the table, because that shit's gonna get real expensive for you,
Real
buddy.
quick.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
No, you're not.
No,
wrong.
not at all.
Facts.
Okay.
Everything
You notice how no girls say nothing
Everything
right
you're
now.
saying is
Every girl's like,
absolutely
yeah,
correct.
yeah, okay.
100%.
It takes money to look good. It takes money.
It takes money to look
resources
good. Max, you and I could fucking roll out of bed, throw some deodorant on, and look at us. We're doing our thing,
Little
bro.
SPF.
Yeah.
Little
Okay.
SPF.
Yeah, of course. All right, Max. What time we got, by the way?
5:55.
5:55. We got about a half hour left before
Right.
we round the show. I want to cover this because we can talk about relationships with the panel
Sure.
all day long. I want to kind of focus on you for a second,
Thank
brother.
you.
Thank you. You've been paying your dues.
It's my turn.
So, can we play this video just so people understand what Max does for a living? The life of a jeweler in the Diamond District in New York City. Can we play this video?
Couldn't imagine what you're going to play right now.
What's that? Okay, here we go. No, not that one. Not that one.
This one.
His jewelry business.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got volume.
Lean.
Chains. I get these packages from a important manufacturer of mine, America's Gold. They supply me with a lot of gold chains. They're my favorite manufacturer, and they trust me. That's why they send me packages of gold. Trust is the key component in the jewelry business. You got to be a trusted brand and a trusted vendor and so on and so forth, and you got to have the right relationships. Took a long time to make it to this point, but now they're sending me a couple of kilos. These are the 3 invoices on these packages. They're around 45 grand a piece. So this cost me 135 grand. I got to take these 14 karat gold chains, and with the help of another trusted person, Umid, I got to bring it to the marketplace for at least 160. So my guy Umid
All right.
keeps track
We
of.
got the point. Looks like spaghetti around your
It's
table.
just
Go
insane.
back
Drip,
to
drip.
his page, just real quick. I just want the audience to understand.
gold.
And we're not gonna play any videos. Just scroll down.
Look at
Oh, you
him.
brought a gold bar?
Yeah, sure. I'll pass it around.
Yeah,
if you
pass that
wanna see.
around.
Oh, I thought you were giving
And
them
by the
out
way,
to
let's
us.
we're gonna have
Yeah.
the
Can I get no
ladies.
gift
Is that
bags?
1 ounce?
That's a kilo.
That's a kilo.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies. Whoever guesses, it's heavy, right?
Yeah, it's heavy.
By the way, while we're
Wait, let me
scrolling,
do this real quick.
just show some of his videos with his jewelry. I want you ladies, don't Google, don't
got
bust it out. You gentlemen at home,
I just feel
don't Google this. Let me see this. How much? That's heavy.
Yeah, it's
It's a
heavy.
kilo of gold.
It's gold.
How much do you think this is worth? Whoever answers it closest gets it, right, Max?
I don't think so.
He's like, I don't
on,
think
you
so.
didn't bring any
How
party
much do
favors.
you
Should've brought a
think
little
this
gift. I don't know
thing
what the
of
hell's
gold?
going
This
on.
is
Yeah.
1 kilo of gold. Test for you ladies out there. How much is this worth?
1 kilo. What is that in like pounds? Can you tell me?
I'm gonna pass it back.
Kilo
along.
in pounds? I don't know.
Guys,
like
thi-
1.5
remember-
pounds
I
or
say
something?
25K.
You're saying 25K. We have a first bid, ladies and gentlemen. 25K. Janelle, you're next. Throw a number out there.
Go with her first.
No,
How
you're
about
up.
this? If they get it within, let's say $500, I'll give them my tennis bracelet.
Wow, look
Oh
at that.
no, it's not fair because I already said my number.
Well,
it's-
that's
the
how
life's
life
not
works.
fair.
That's how life works. The price is right.
Within
The price is wrong,
$500,
Okay,
I'm
go
gonna take
ahead.
it within $500.
Janelle,
girls.
if you don't give a number right
All
now, you're
all all
dismissed
I'm
from
forfeit.
class.
Why this is
How
this to
much?
me? Okay, so I'm gonna say that is 33.3K.
$33,000. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Chantel,
I had no idea.
I'm gonna say 500K.
500K.
I'm so happy. I get
She's
to get my
going with
bracelet.
500,000.
It's around 55,000.
I get to guess? I was
Let
the
Natalia
closest.
guess.
Oh, he already said
Natalia,
shit.
did you
He
hear
already
it?
said it.
Okay,
Let
it's
her
your
guess,
guess.
let her guess.
Just to be clear, everyone throw your number in the chat. See how much you
Yes,
think this
everyone
is.
put your number in the
1
chat.
kilo of gold.
Do I get a prize?
We
I'm
were
closest.
gonna let our did you hear the number? What's your friend's name over there?
Persha?
Persia? Did you hear the number?
Close.
He almost blurted it out. Did you hear what he said? You're gonna take a guess. All right, Natalia. We have 25K. We have 33.3. We have $500,000.
Ugh.
Natalia, what's your number?
I will go in between and hit it with 50K.
50K.
50K?
Okay.
55K?
55K.
Bullshit. me.
60K?
She heard.
What do you got?
She's reading the chats.
Well, the chat is
I
range.
don't think that.
How much you have? 59.
9K.
She's going. So a kilo of gold.
Well,
I
you
want to
can look
say.
it up
I mean,
if you want.
it wavers. I want to say it's somewhere in the mid to high 50s. Go ahead, reveal the
Also,
number.
Let's find out.
Find out exactly what it is today. Because PBD rolls
You
around
wanna
with
hear
these all the
chat?
time, and I know
Chat is
it's.
saying 75K, 53K, 54K,
Well, let's just go to goldprice.org. Which
I
I've
think
been-
$25,000. What I
where I've
said.
been logging in for years, and we're gonna find out as soon as it loads. But it should be. I mean, I guess today's price. Mickey, do you have any?
I think that they heard. I think
I
they
think
heard it.
Give me a number.
25.
Disqualified.
That
57.5.
All right, so I said within $1,000. I don't think anybody got it within
no,
1,000.
You did it.
You said
actually
within
said
500.
Yeah, you did
Okay,
say
All
that.
right,
500.
so,
But
so
no
you're
one
off the
did.
hook.
No
but
one
what a
did.
generous man right here,
Yeah.
willing to
Right.
give a tennis bracelet. By the way, how much is that tennis
We know
bracelet
how to
worth?
This one is
gold.
about $10,000. So
Ladies,
I
you
was
just
really
missed.
hoping to hold on to it. You know,
Chantel, you thought that
know.
was a
If I had
$500,000.
cheaper price, I would have
the
made it within a
bag.
$10,000
Yeah.
range.
All right.
Within some other time.
She was
I
close
wanted
though.
three
All right,
years.
respect you. But anyway,
Thank you.
we just had a little taste of how Max rolls.
Right.
So Max, here's my question for you, and then I want to open this up. Bro, you're out there. We're gonna
Sure.
show some videos. You're gonna say you're out there in these streets,
I am.
talking shit, you're like being aggressive, talking to people, dealing with all sorts of characters,
Right.
rappers, influencers, jewelers. You've had beef with Scott Disick, Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Sure.
You've done stuff with Rick Ross. You've done stuff with Kodak Black. You've had Ben Baller. He's
Girls
a
are
famous
looking
name.
at me a little different now that they hear about the money.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
It's-
Now they want to know.
Saw your drip.
So
I
you're an
didn't
aggressive
have a
dude.
day
Like
it
you,
was.
you get into
dripping
beef,
shit.
you get drama. You've got robbed, I believe, at one point.
Sure.
Someone jacked you for 150K, I want to say. So like, here's my question. Like for me in my business, bro, I got no drama. I got no beef. Like if I'm even catching a little bit of drama or beef, I pick up the phone. I'm like, hey, listen, bro, like we good. I can't have like, that's just not where I'm at
Yeah.
in my business, in
Sure,
financial
sure,
business.
sure.
It's like steady water, steady Eddie. Even in content, like if I have beef with like another person, hey, what's up, bro? Like we good? Like I'm not trying to, I don't need internet beef.
Right.
But I feel like you kind of embrace it. You run
Right.
towards it. So
Sure.
my question is, this kind of comes with the territory. What's that life like of like having to kind of like watch your back, sleep with one eye open? Obviously, you're not gangbanging. You're in the jewelry business, but you're a target. People see you with tons of
Yeah,
jewelry.
there's money,
It
you
ain't
know.
easy.
It's a
is all I'm
competitive
saying.
field, right?
What's that life like?
It's perfectly fine. I'm kind of used to it. You know, I've been in the business for 17 years, and you know, you got to dominate it at some point. You know, you have a problem with somebody, you can talk it out, hash it out, or you could bring them to their knees. You know, and you could dominate them, and you could make an example out of them. You could cost them a lot of money, a lot of livelihood that other people won't sit here and fuck with you anymore. And me personally, from my heart, I'm a very nice person. I'm a very caring, giving person, and people think that they could take advantage of that. That's when, you know, you have to cut them down to size and make sure that other people see an example out of somebody. And that's what I'll do. You know, Scott Disick, we were doing business. He's asking for more free shit, trying to get more free shit, and I had to do what I had to do there. So people just, you know, leave me alone and don't take my kindness for weakness.
Got it. Respect to you. So you know, one of the things I always say is that no matter what business you're in the people business. Even though
Sure.
you're in
That's
jewelry,
right.
you're in sex, you're in entrepreneurship, you're in YouTube, you're doing your thing. You know, but we're all in the people business. So people like doing business with people that they like.
Right.
So, you know, what does that lead to? That leads to repeat customers. That leads to referrals. It leads to good relationships, good reviews on Yelp, online, all that kind of stuff like that. So my question to you is, like, a lot of people are watching this, or in sales or in business. How do you balance attracting new customers, retain existing customers, but also knowing when to burn some bridges and light some shit on fire? How do you grapple that?
Well, I have a good staff that handles the business, handles the clients. I really don't have time for a lot of clients, whether they're celebrities or not. I really don't want to do it anymore. But I have a staff of 40 people. And, you know, you market a business in a certain way that the clients are going to come and they're going to do business with your staff. And the way I market is through education, explaining things, you know, getting those views up on certain videos. Like that one was, I don't know, a couple of million views. Another one was 15 million, 20 million.
Nat, cue up the next video.
Yeah, well, you know, whatever the videos are. Then that brings in a lot of clients. That's more than what my competition is doing. You really have to do only more than your competition. You don't have to do a lot or a little, just more than everybody else.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm more honest. And more approachable, and that brings clients to our store and to our website, where my staff is well trained to be courteous, and they got to play their part. You know, I've spoken to clients and on the phone and in person for 15 years, right? You know, since I was 18 years old, and you know, I started early. I timed myself right, which is, you know, some people overplay, underplay. Young men, they think they're Superman when they're young, and they waste their time. I didn't. I laid a great foundation for myself, and now I get to enjoy my time.
So back to, you know, no matter what business you're in, so and depending on the business, you can afford or not afford to piss people off.
Yeah.
So in my business, in the finance business,
Right.
insurance, investments, bro, I'm not trying to like piss anybody off. We
Right.
take like in a situation where it's like, oh, a person we're doing business with happened to have a bad experience. It's very rare. Now they're talking about it. Now they're telling their friends. We will pick up the phone and say, like, how can we make this right?
Yeah, that's
because
a good
the
idea.
last thing we need is a bad reputation, and that's why we're like the premier firm at what we do. That's not my point here.
Right.
But not everyone works that way. At some point, you need to make an example. So in your business, and this is more to people out there in general, this is advice to young entrepreneurs out there. When is it when is it okay to say, all right, I tried being nice. I tried being nice to you, Scott Disick. I tried to do this. All right, test me one more time. Oh, really? Okay. Fuck you, bro. That's it. Burning the house down, talking shit. I don't need your business. Put your shit out there. I'm coming for you. When is it okay? You understand what I'm saying?
That's
here.
a great question.
When does that happen?
If you have a paying client that's doing good business and you don't want to turn on that client ever. I have a certain clients and they cross the line or whatever it is. I say, here, take a full refund and I appreciate you giving my business a chance. That's always my courtesy. But then if they start knick-knacking and asking for more, or playing a dirty game, you have to be very strategic. No one's going to tell you how to be Machiavelli in whatever situation you're in. But sometimes you got to, strike. And that was one of those times because, I don't want to go back to Scott and rag on him. But what is that? Who is this person for me to sit here and kiss his ass? Right? It came to the point where either I'm going to be, the bitch boy in this situation or him. I said, you know what? I'm not here to be his waiter. All right? I did enough. I handled my stuff. He got a little arrogant or whatever it is. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do everything I can to strike deep. And so that it hurts that people who I've never met are going to watch this situation and be influenced by what I said and take a different perspective and, play this game. Because if you're going to bring me in the dirt, then that's it. It is what it is.
Very good advice for young business people out there, men especially, who deal with relationships and networking and all that.
Right.
It's like you said, you want a happy customer. What can I do to make this right? If I need a refund, anything, you'll play that game.
Right.
And you'll get poked and you're poked and you're poked. But at some point, you're going to say, all right, I'm not going to be the bitch boy here. And then you'll attack.
Yeah.
I want to play this video real quick. And I want to get the ladies' opinion on how you acted in this video.
Okay.
Right? Because I feel like you've got some subdued, calm. I don't know if the drink is, if you smoked something beforehand. No. But you'll do some shit in videos that you'll go places.
Okay.
So I want to get ladies' opinion on the other side of this video. Make sure the volume's on that.
Periodically, I'm gonna somebody up in this diamond district. Why? Because they're constantly lying, telling stories. Up is down, left is right. Shut the fuck up. Do straightforward business or face the consequences. If you're on this street and you're trying to recruit my employees or bribe my employees, you're already as good as dead. You piece of shit. And you and your garbage ass motherfucking you pieces of trash. Can't get a straight
okay, I think we got the point. So that's the Max that I know from YouTube. Ladies, you're seeing this for the first time. Okay,
One
so
of those archetypes.
I respect it. You're playing. Here's how I
fed up,
process
bro. I just get fed up.
Here's how I process the jewelry business. Your business. You tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Sure.
You're dealing with luxury items and shitty fucking people.
Sure. I mean, that particular situation, why I went out and went crazy is that, one of my members of my staff, there was a $100,000 transaction for some watch. Something went south, and, we had to back out of that transaction. And they had like $60,000 of mine in credit. I'm like, fine, let's just resolve this real fast. Take the $60,000, tax me $3,000, and give me $57,000 back because we're backing out. Nah, I'm this. I had to get this. The stories start. I don't want to hear any stories. I got to get out of this deal, take $3,000 in tax, and let me move on. Fair? Fair. You took in $60,000, you're giving back $57,000. What the fuck else do you want? A story, an explanation. No more explanations. I spent 17 years hearing the same fucking stories over and over. It's always a story. Just shut the fuck up, give me back my money, and let's move on to the next shit. And if you don't, you're going to face the consequences. I'm going to kick down your fucking door. I'm going to scream at you in front of your family. I'm going to take your father, your mother. I'm going to tell them what's wrong with them and how they fucked up raising their son. Straight what the fuck I'm going to do.
I love it. I love the aggressiveness.
Shiva shit.
Okay, comment below if what you think about Max and the way he acts.
Yeah.
But here's my question to the ladies. You get this terminology out there these days, toxic masculinity, okay? Like we've heard this before. So that's an aggressive dude who's making money, making millions, doing these things. It's a cutthroat business.
Yeah.
So is it a turn on when a guy is aggressive, or is it kind of too toxic to mess with? When a guy's acting like that. You got Max here. You don't want to catch that attitude.
I'm not going to give
I'm
any girls any
so-
attitude.
I'm super wet.
So is that a turn on when men act like that, or is it a turn off?
She knows.
Who would like to go first? Chantelle, go
I'll
ahead.
say it's a turn on because it's logical. It's a situation that it makes sense.
Yeah.
But if you act like that just because they mess up your fries at McDonald's, no? That's an issue. But in that situation, it makes sense. And you stood your ground. You said what you gotta say. Meet me outside.
Before
So,
to you?
okay, I got it.
McDonald's?
So I like that answer. So it's a turn on when it's a logical response.
Yeah.
Oh, we're dealing with $60,000. You tried to fuck me. I tried to do a $3,000 tax credit. Bingo, bango. Now you're acting stupid. Now I gotta fucking beat down your door and pick up grandma by her shirt and say, "Listen, grandma." But the point is, it was a logical response. If it was over some fucking French fries, 99 cents, you're like, bro, you are insane.
You are going.
Okay. So for you, if it's a logical response and there's some merit to it, all right, then we're on the same page
Yes,
here.
yeah.
Melitsa.
I'm gonna piggyback on what she said, and I actually respect men like him that they don't take shit from other people, like, you know what I mean, and just let people slide with their own shit, because people could be really shitty. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Especially when they're trying to screw you over with that amount of money. You know, so I actually like when a man actually sticks up for himself and for his woman too. You know,
Gotcha.
so I don't disagree.
So you
with
got
him.
2 turn-ons, and she said that she
That's
was getting wet
wonderful.
over there.
I
So
mean, you know, for
do you
the-
want to be the third person to weigh in on this?
Yeah, I'll weigh in. Listen, there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. There's just masculinity, and not enough men are masculine. So they
Exactly.
just attach toxic because they want to create this whole thing where men stay feminine and beta.
Yep.
That kind of actions should happen more often. If more men got pissed the fuck off
Yep.
and actually handled shit like a real Shiva, we wouldn't have all the simping and stuff that's going on in the world.
Yep.
We just don't have enough men that are have
Yep.
the huevos enough to actually
Thank
do
you.
it.
Yep.
And the fact that he will be that aggressive with just his business, how much more fiercely is he going to protect you and your
Yep.
children and your empire,
Boom.
etc., etc., etc.
Yep.
So
I'm with it.
what's more, is it the brains because he's making the money, or the balls because he's putting it on the line that's attractive,
It's the
or is it a
whip. I
combination
think
of
it's
both?
The combination.
It's a
Yeah,
combination.
He's
but-
like, it's a combination.
No, it is a
Let me tell you guys.
But the balls, because most men are, there's a lot of men that are making hand over fist cash like
Yeah.
he is, but they don't have the huevos like that. I know
Yeah.
so many black Amex titanium guys that would never
That a
do
boy.
that.
Yeah.
Nat,
that approach.
I want to hear from you.
Yes.
Our friend Max, he just flipped out on camera, but but it was warranted. Is that a turn on or a turn off for you?
I would agree with Chantelle. I think it really comes down to what they are fighting for. Like if they're easily like triggered by like little things, I think that's even a red flag. But when it comes to like money and business and things that they're passionate about, I think it's necessary. And it is a turn on for women because you can see the care, the value, because they put the time into what they're arguing about. So I would say it is a turn on, and it is a combination of both, Max.
Interesting.
Yes.
Max, I mean, you're getting blown up over here, bro.
He knows. Look at him.
He's like, gas me up,
Well, I
gas
put
me
my
up.
work in. You know what I'm saying? If you're 21 years old or you're 25 years old, I put in 15 years of hard work. I know when to scream at somebody, when not to scream. I know when to push the buttons, when not. So I put my work in, and there's a reward for that, and that's it.
I will
So-
say though, it is also attractive to see a man be calm, cool, and collected during times of like chaos. So when, like to me, when a man reaches that breaking point, I know I'm like, okay, wow, this really set him off. But to have a man who's very calm, cool, and collected, I think that's also a turn on because you're like, okay, wow, he's emotionally mature. He's not going to explode. But when he does explode, you're like, wow, this has reached a breaking point for him. So I think it just comes to a point.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. Can I
Yes.
piggyback on that? So I'm a big advocate and practitioner of stoicism. I try to be as stoic. So one of the things I always say is that like one of my biggest things is health, wealth, and happiness. Right? Happiness comes from having meaning and purpose in your life and fulfilling it. And I do a mantra every morning, and I talk about that. But also part of stoicism, I say, because I try to be fit. Like this morning, I worked out. I say I have the body of an athlete, I have the mind of a stoic, and I have a spirit of a fucking warrior. Okay, and I constantly say that to
Spartan.
myself. So, and back to stoicism and all that is a last ditch effort for me. It's, hey bro, we're cool, man. I discussed it. We all right. We're good.
Yep.
Don't do this again. All right, I've warned you.
That's
I'm
wonderful.
cool. You can only surround. Life is what 20% is what happens to you. 80% how you respond. But But when you get a response like that, you know you mean business,
Exactly.
Yeah.
right?
Did you get the money? What happened?
Yeah, I mean, we worked it out.
We worked it out.
You know, I kind of overreacted. I started screaming, but he took care of everything, and he took the tax more than what I'd like. But I had fun screaming at him. So
I had fun.
You got a viral video,
Okay,
so that's
so
all that matters.
let's address this. We've got about 10, 15 minutes left. We'll get the super chats and the nat, and then we'll wrap up. But I liked what you said right there. You've been doing this for how many years? 15 years?
well, yeah, 17 years now.
Okay, and you're 35. I'm doing basic math. So you've been doing this since the
18,
day you
since I was
graduated
18.
high school.
Yep, since the day I graduated high school. Exactly.
You know, we talked about how men want to get rich quick these days.
Right.
You know, everything. Microwave society, quick success society. But we're all about paying dues. One of the things I always say is I want to build wealth slow, not get rich quick.
Right.
A lot of times when you get rich quick, you know what happens in the jewelry business.
it.
You end up dead, in jail,
Right.
convicted, Sam Bankman-Fried, whatever.
Right.
So what's your advice to an 18-year-old, 21-year-old entrepreneur out there who's like looking for that quick success, but they hear guys like us saying, believe me, your success will come. Play the long game.
Right.
What's your advice for those guys?
Well, listen, the output is relative to the input, you know? So if you're not going to put an input and you want a crazy output, you're a dreamer, right? In order to make money, I had to employ a lot of people, service a lot of clients, build a team that does the work, provide an opportunity before I got my prize. And I could have had it earlier, but I made a lot of strategic mistakes. So if you really want advice, I mean, what I didn't have when I was 18, it wasn't a YouTube channel filled with lots of wisdom and lots of, you could watch Valuetainment and this one and that one and Warren Buffett and so on and so forth. And you could build a picture of the world and then implement it and build a quality a life if you really put in the proper work and absorb the proper wisdom, But you don't expect, and it's even worse to have amazing success without putting something. I don't want to hit the lotto. I wouldn't have been able to speak the way I do or, have the confidence that I have if I hit the lotto when I was 18 and had a Lamborghini Ferrari. I'd be a drug addict. So don't ask for shit that you don't want to work for, and don't expect life to give you something that you didn't put in. That's number one. Number two, there's plenty of information and plenty of wisdom out there that you could absorb, that you could apply, in your early age that will mature in your mid-30s and so on and so forth. For me, somebody, I had all my friends. Let's say we all had an apple each. They ate their apple. This one did this. I ate my apple, but I put my apple seed in the ground. The next day when we woke up, there was no difference between me and them. But come back 15 years later, I got an apple tree with apples on it. The rest of them don't have that. Well, you can't get an apple tree unless you put the fucking seed in 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So you put it in, you put your work in, you mature into, man, you did your thing, whatever it was, where you could have not, could have went home and played video games, you knocked on a door, or whatever the fuck you did, and now you're seeing maturity and success. And I'm sure you wish you did more in your 20s, or whatever the hell it is, so you can have more or do more, but it's a time game. Like I said, you have these wonderful women here that are very interesting and beautiful, so on and so forth. We all want to have their attention and all of that. But, they're looking for something and you're looking for something. And they have what they have early in life, and you have to put that work in during that time so you can have it later. And that's what Mother Nature set up. So that's pretty much what it is. Absorb that wisdom, put the work in early, and don't expect anything to come out of something when you didn't put the work in.
I mean, clap it up for Max over here. I mean, can we just...
I appreciate that.
We've got live audience over here. Respect to you. Last couple questions.
Right.
You kind of hyped up the ladies. The reason that we...
Right.
It's not like we have 20 different random bitches out. Like we have...
Sure.
We're very specific because we want classy, smart, established, beautiful women.
Right.
Who have a different perspective.
Right.
Round table here, we talked about what makes up a great woman, everything like that. Advice for the men out there. What, in your experience, are specifically the type of women that men should avoid? Meaning, like, there's these types of women, and I'm staying the fuck away from them. All right, I'll give you an example. Here's a woman that I'm staying away from. I'm at Art Basel 2 weeks ago, and I'm with my boy Adrian. We're there. We're looking at art. We're doing whatever. There's these two, like, I would say over 40 Latina chicks. They're not speaking English so good. They've done it all. They're kind of lizard looking. And that's all good. I'm not judging a book by its cover, but they're just, not the look that I was going for. But beyond that, one of them drops her credit card on the floor, her debit card, whatever it was. And me, being like a gentleman, I went, picked it up, and I gave it to the girl. She took it and just turns right back around to her friend. No, thank you. No, oh my God, I could have lost my money. Like nothing. And I'm thinking, who is this entitled bitch? And who is dealing with this girl? And who's giving her the permission to lose something of value? A man gives it to her. No thank you, no acknowledgement, as if I should have been just standing behind her, just waiting to pick up after her.
What she would have
So
done.
I'm
is
using
put it
that
right
as
in her
symbolism
pocket.
of like, that is the type of girl that I'm avoiding. The unappreciative, ungrateful, like everything should come to me
She
because I'm a
wasn't
hot
raised
chick
right.
who's
Yeah.
not really even that hot anymore. And now she's expecting me to pick up the credit card for her. So that to me is, looks are one thing,
Yeah.
but a bad attitude, ungrateful,
Terrible.
keep it moving, Consuela. I ain't dealing with you, okay? So that's my opinion.
dying.
I'm avoiding that type of girl. And in Miami, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
So I'm sorry,
Consuela.
Maria, Fernanda, Consuela, the whole squad. If you got a good attitude, I'll fuck with you. But that's just who I am avoiding.
Oh my
With
God.
that being said, so I spilt the beans. There it was.
Right.
There's a chick named Consuela that's very upset with me right now, but that's fine. I'm sure she's a lovely person. If you're that girl who lost her debit card, I'm coming at you. Back to you, ladies. Beautiful, feminine, awesome women. Who are the type of women that men should avoid?
Well, I say this all the time on my channel. Shout out to the manosphere because they expose a lot of women. Try to avoid women who aren't open to men's perspective. So you hear the name Andrew Tate, you hear the name Kevin Samuels, you hear the name anybody, and they automatically get triggered and say, oh, you're misogynistic. That's the telltale sign. First date question.
Yeah.
So, okay, go deeper. They're
So-
not open to a man's perspective. What's wrong with their personality? Why should men avoid those types of women? Go deeper
Because
with
if you're
your
not
answer.
open to a man's perspective and you want a man, then you're just closed off. You're just selfish. You're not willing to give in the relationship. You wanted to take. So you're not interested in, okay, what does this man want from me if I'm demanding this from him?
Aha. Selfish.
Not a reasonable girl, you're
Yeah,
saying, right?
basically, yeah.
Yeah,
Stay
you're
away
big
from
on
unreasonable.
logic over emotion.
Very big on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I don't know how many
Left
women.
brain.
Yeah.
She's the only one. We've
All right,
Janelle,
so I got
Other than
three.
the chick that's not giving a blowjob the second you
All right,
walk in the
well,
door.
okay, I
Because
got
avoid
three.
those women at all
Avoid
costs.
them. But I got three.
Yes, go ahead. Janelle, always got some
ORS.
gems.
Just remember the acronym.
Yes, go.
Okay. Wait. Okay. So. Okay. Sorry. ARS. My bad. ARS. That's the acronym.
Okay.
Overly.
These are the types of women
to avoid. Stay
Go
clear
ahead.
of. Overly ambitious, overly religious, and take me out of it. Overly sexual.
Okay, hold on. That's counterintuitive.
No, like you don't want a woman who's
Overly ambitious,
overly-
overly religious, overly sexual.
Overly. So I'm making like over the top any of
Okay.
those. So if she's too ambitious, she's boss babe. She's not going to surrender to you. You're not going to be able to create a family with her because she's going to choose the career for you. Okay? Overly religious. Too over the top. Like she's just like the perfect girl from church, but she's like in the Bible all the time. She's never going to give it up to you. You're not going to get your sexual needs met at all. Like
She's thinking
over-
about Jesus 24/7.
all the time.
Missionary position.
Correct. Missionary, starfish, all the way.
Missionary, literally.
Literally.
Okay.
And then the last one is like I'm talking about 304, so I'm saying overly sexual. Like she's
Overly
just
sexual. So
been there, done that. And
you're
like
talking about like high body count. You're talking about sex workers. Who are you talking about?
anything that's like yes, all the above.
Okay.
But
It's
isn't
just like-
excessive isn't excessive of anything bad?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying those are the main three things that I would steer clear from if I was a guy.
Okay.
Like just
ARS.
Yeah,
You got a whole
ARS.
formula.
I got the formula.
Melitsa, you deal with a lot of entrepreneurs. You deal with a lot of men. You also deal with a lot of women who are entrepreneurs. So you're also a feminine boss babe. Like the way that you're able to do that is very unique from my perspective. Who are the type of women that men should avoid?
Women that are gossiping about others, because if they gossip about others, they're going to gossip about you. Women who don't listen to your side, and women who are not vulnerable.
Why is vulnerability important?
Oh, it's so important because through vulnerability, you really get to tap into someone's soul. You get to see them and they get to see you. Without vulnerability, that's when you create masculinity as a woman.
Very powerful answer right there. All right, Max, we'll come to you last.
Okay.
Nat,
Yes.
you're out there in the clubs. I've seen you.
I'm
I've
with
been there
you.
with you.
I go with you.
Yeah, that's true. Shit, you put
I
my
want
shit
an
out there.
invitation next time.
You what?
I want an invite next time.
Okay. So you've got a lot of clubby type friends. You also have a lot of girlfriends that are doing something. Like, you know, you've got a good balance is what I'm saying. In your opinion, what type of women should men avoid?
Stay away. I would definitely say, I actually wrote mine down. I put entitled, clueless, and inconsiderate.
That's
And
a
I
nice
think
list.
within those, it kind of falls in all of those areas, right? But I think those three are very, very important for men to be
Entitled,
wary of.
clueless, and inconsiderate.
Inconsiderate,
Very
correct.
nice
Just like that
answer.
girl that
That just
with the credit card.
Credit card.
Exactly.
She was all three of those.
You know how I feel about you.
Gracias,
All right,
it's
Max,
easy.
go ahead, take us home. You see a lot of these girls,
Yeah.
said
rolling
yeah.
with these types of dudes that show up into your store.
Right.
Who are the women to avoid?
Well, listen, I don't know what they're avoiding, but I'm avoiding dangerous women. I worked hard for my life, and I don't need a woman that's gonna turn around and then try to bite me or something like that, money wise or whatever, right? Or claim this or say that, or baby mama, or poke a hole in a condom, or this or that.
hate
As soon as I see anything like that,
304.
I'm running out the door, because I'm not throwing my life away for a girl or for anything like that. There's lots of girls. I worked hard. I know, what's desirable for a woman and so on and so forth. And I'm not giving that up, for some momentary pleasure or something like that. So,
Respect.
So one thing you want to do is you want to avoid a girl that's going to drag you down and, go crazy or something like that. It's tough, but, inconsiderate, oh, she's inconsiderate. Well, I'm done with her and so on and so forth. There's none of that's going to hurt me. But some chick that's gonna start claiming some shit or saying something, that's what scares me.
Messy.
Risk
Or
and reward.
Stealing
and everything
something,
in life.
or thinking that she deserves something, she's owed something. Like, I pick up the signs real fast and I'm out the door.
Have you had that happen? Women tried to steal like jewelry and stuff from you?
As far as I recall, not really. I mean, I've run out the door as soon as she's like looking, where's that watch or what's this or what's that? You know what I'm saying? I'm not with that at all. But
Yeah.
that hasn't really happened to me, because as soon as I see a red flag like that, I'm out of there.
Two quick questions and we'll wrap up and go super chats. Here we go. One question for you.
Yeah.
If a dude can only buy one piece of jewelry,
Right.
one piece of jewelry
question.
that makes him high status, look good, but also guys get jewelry so they can look attractive to women.
Right.
That's no secret. What's the one piece of jewelry a guy should purchase?
All right. Well, that depends on how much you're spending, to be honest. Because if
Let's say it's 10 grand.
10 grand, then you start with a watch.
That's I knew.
Right? It doesn't have to be the cliche Rolex everybody buys or something like that. You have to buy something that's a little niche or so on and so forth. It could also be a chain, just light yourself up a little bit and have a nice watch on that's not something that everybody sees. But,
Love it.
So start with a watch, then
Right.
maybe a chain,
yeah,
then maybe you graduate to a nice grill or something.
maybe.
No?
Or
All
the
right.
spaghetti look you had going
Here
on.
is a question for all the ladies and Max as well. We're in the holiday season. Janelle has educated me on the concept of being present. Not a present, but being present, having presence, right? So I'm very familiar with a man needs to be a provider, bring home the bacon, we get it, right? Protect her, protect your woman, protect your territory, we get that. But the being present is something that I feel like men lack, whether it's quality time, being there for your woman, putting down your phone. So this is sort of an easy question, but it is holiday season. What is more important for your man or dude that you're with right now, holiday season, gifting season, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, the whole thing? Is it more important that he give you presents, gifts, presents, or be present with you during the holiday season? So presents or presents,
presents.
spelt differently. What's more important?
It's presents over penis all the way. Like gifts, I feel like women that like need gifts, like that's I know a lot of women want that, but I think that's what really can differentiate you as a woman when you don't like expect gifts, or you don't make your man feel pressure on that, and you really just crave his directed, connected, focused energy towards you. I think a high value man will appreciate that. And like, all the other girls are trying to get something from me. She's not. She just wants me. And then I think in turn, in the end, she'll win and probably get the ring and get more in the end.
So presents with the CE at the end, not the TS.
Correct.
What would you say?
So I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Be
I want the presents
That's
because
fine.
listen, like, I
With the
I
TS.
value yes,
With the
I value his
TS.
presents.
Get your presents.
I
like,
value
I'm
his
not mad at you.
CE, right?
Yeah.
I value him being around, but it's holiday season. It's Christmas
got
time. I
you.
mean, I give my mom, my sisters, my cousins the presents
Yeah.
on holiday season, so I want that. I want that too.
Get your
Okay.
gifts, girlfriend.
I
And
do
you
value his
deserve it.
presents.
You
She's a good
deserve
girl.
it.
She wants a
She
gift.
gets
Hook
it.
it
It's
up.
Christmas time. It's not
I
like
get
I'm
it.
demanding
You're
it
here,
every
homie.
weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a present.
Yeah.
Melitsa, this
I
holiday
agree with
season.
her.
She's like, I want
I
the
agree
gifts.
with her. We have plenty of time to spend together, to get away during the year. It's Christmas time. Yeah, I would love a beautiful present. Surprise me.
Nat?
Yeah.
I would have to say, I would like a present.
She's
for the
like,
holiday
So
season.
can
And
somebody
again, it doesn't have to be like
buy me something. Please.
It doesn't have to be over the top.
Just
I
buy
think
me
it's just the
something.
idea of that you were thinking about me, and through this gift, I'm getting your presents.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yes.
yeah. All right, last question. Just say a number. We don't need a whole opinion.
100%.
An average dude out there, I'm not saying he's making $1 million. I'm not saying he's broke.
got this,
What is a good amount that he should spend on his girl holiday season? What's a normal amount?
Average guy. He's not
A good dude. He's not a billionaire. He's not a brokey. Just a dude.
I'm actually,
Say a number, guys.
I'm really simple. $500. I'm good with a nice
Okay.
$500.
Thank you for being direct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 150.
150.
Yeah.
Wow,
I
you're
was gonna-
cheap.
I was gonna say like if
Raise
you're
your
going,
stock,
if you're
baby.
gonna go in for
Yeah.
a gift, I'd say in that 500 to 700
Okay,
range is
there we go,
nice.
gentlemen.
I'm
How
being
much is a
honest.
nice piece of jewelry? The like
He's like,
Average-
y'all are
nice piece
good
of
shit.
average,
You
average,
could
average.
make a nice gift for
Yeah.
under $1,000
Can
in the
you?
jewelry world. A pair of earrings, a pair of hoops, or
Okay.
something like that.
I agree.
It's doable.
we heard
if
it
your
here from the
jeweler's
man
not
himself.
ripping
Like,
you off.
gee, you go into a nice store,
we're coming
you
to
get some
you.
earrings.
To get our
Awesome.
sleep.
Yes.
Thank you.
there
You
you
have
go.
any final things that you need to address?
No, I agree with Max. I think anything under 1,000 is a good gift. I think it also depends where the man is at too. You don't want to be unrealistic and then have your man go broke and then you dump him after. Like
I hope he can
So,
afford a
but-
$1,000 gift.
You spent all your money on the girl. Now you're broke. Now she dumped you because you're broke. That is a double-edged sword if I've ever
That's a
seen one in my
sad
life.
Christmas shit, man.
Okay, guys, this has been a great show. We've had some friendly discussions. Oh, hold on, Nat.
yeah, I gotta read my
Go,
chats.
baby, go.
Yeah, I gotta read the
Chats.
chat. So thank you all for the super chats today. We had some good super chats. We've got one that says interview Senator Judge Mary Sinclair. Thank you, TRC23. I see you every day in the chat. We have another one by Zero Sloth. 11 single boss babes in their late 20s, so no one had been lied by feminism and turned into masculine independent men she wanted to date or marry. Then we have another one by him. Women have to stop telling men how to be a man. They never experience man struggles. Women have the worst advice to give a man and how to solve their issues. Another one from him as well. Then we have one from Mayor David Off, just $10. We appreciate your $10. Merry Christmas. Then another one from Zoro Lost 11. Saddest demo of people in the West are 40-year-old boss babes with no family, kids making 50 at 100K a year, women taking some type of anti-sadness meds. Then we have one by Venice Virtues, $50. We appreciate you. Great pod, Adam. Feminine and mask energy alone are not enough. Deeds and moments mean a lot. How men, I'm not sure what he said. David Cost took Goliath. How men, women have their craziest nights, wife, and how she made him feel in the presence of his family. Keep being great. I need you to put a little bit more spaces in your words, but thank you for the super chat. And then we have our last one that says, men get shamed and canceled for expressing masculinity. And the last one is, when are we going to see David Grutman on the Soscast?
Dave Rubin.
Yes.
Dave Rubin.
Yes. No,
Oh, just-
Dave
Grutman.
Grutman.
Oh, Dave Grutman.
Grutman.
Oh, okay. We can make
Yeah,
that
we can
happen.
see what
Well, I was
happens.
just at Dave Rubin's holiday party. Shout
But
out
thank
Dave
you for
Rubin.
the super chats,
By
everyone.
the way,
we appreciate them.
all money from the super chats, just so everyone's clear, goes into Natalia's learning how to read fund. That it's
So
something
make
that
sure
we're
you
working
guys
on.
give us some good
We're
chats.
trying to get this girl educated. She's out there.
But you guys need to do better
She
typing.
loves you. We love.
Help me.
Anyway, help me.
Help me help you.
Okay. Well, we love you, Nat. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here. Real quick, 10 seconds or less. Where can they find you? Where can they find your stuff? Where can you? Where can they track you down? Go ahead, down the line. Chantelle.
I'm sorry, so Chantelle Simone on YouTube, _chats with Shan on Instagram. Real simple.
There it was.
Thanks so much. theofactors.com and YouTube, Instagram, Janelle Gordon, that whole thing. Thanks, Adam.
Of course, every time.
My events every single month, the last Wednesday of the month in SLS South Beach. It's called Epic Talks. So you can find me on Instagram, Epic Talks Miami, and also Melitsa Waage.
With a T, not
With a
Melissa.
T, yeah.
By the way, look for something coming soon, a Valuetainment Epic Talk collab. We got to figure that out.
Yep.
Go
If
ahead,
you're
bro,
in
the
New
man
York-
himself.
Yeah, if you're in New York, stop by 64 West 47th Street, or you can shop tracksmyc.com.
Just
You
like
will
that.
be seeing me.
Don't catch that bad attitude out there. And nobody, unfortunately, was the lucky winner of a $57,500 piece of gold. It could have been you guys out there in the chats. Thank you guys for being here. What I loved about this episode is everyone has different opinions, but it's at the end of the day, you have one life. You got to figure out what you're doing with your life. And if you go to bed happy every night, what more can you ask for?
Yeah.
So if you're out there, if you're a young guy struggling, getting your shit together, money, life, women, this is what we do over here. So if you took one nugget from anyone here, apply it to your life, success, status, and save that money. You'll get you there. Thank you guys for being here today. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah to all of the Jews out there, my Jews. And we'll see you guys next week after Christmas. Have a
Wonderful.
great weekend.
All right.
Thank you.